firm to represent the partner of Renee Good, Becca Good, as well as other members of Renee Good's family in a civil investigation. The legal team calls this a case of national importance in need of transparency. 37-year-old Renee Good was a mother of 3. She was shot and killed in Minneapolis by an ICE officer after taking one of her kids to school. Terry Keschner, 1059 WBBM.
Well, more than half of Illinois residents are still in need of their real IDs. Could be millions. It's a big reason why state leaders are trying to make the process easier ahead of a looming and costly deadline.
This is about meeting people where they are on their time, not ours.
Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias announcing the Real ID Super Center at Clark and Lake will be open the next 3 Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
These hours are specifically designed for people who can't come in during the work week and still need to get this done before February 1st, when the $45 per person penalty kicks in.
Additionally, the Cook County Clerk's Office is expanding Saturday hours for those in need of the required documents for Real ID application, while DMV sites across Illinois also plan to expand service leading up to February 1st.
The cost of living, as we know, is already too high. We don't want Illinoisans paying more or dealing with unnecessary travel stress simply because they couldn't get to a facility during the week.
Andy Dane, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Chicago leaders say a pathway to increased revenue could run through the city's airports.
Picture this. You're running to O'Hare to catch a flight. You pull into the Allstate parking lot, get on the Walgreens shuttle bus, ride into the Wintrust stop, run past the Lemonheads elevators, and get to your gate just in time. All right, it sounds funny, but it could be reality now that the city is formally asking businesses and marketing experts about sponsorship opportunities at Chicago's airports. Mayor Brandon Johnson says it's been in the works for some time to capitalize on increased traffic at both airports.
It's quite paramount to the expansion of opportunities for businesses to be able to highlight the work that they do.
But the city will have limits.
We want to make sure that our decorum reflects the classiness of our city.
So say goodbye to the Malort concourse, I guess. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 1059. WBBM.
Cook County sending out money to some people who are given probation or other suspended sentences.
The chief judge's office ordered checks for people who paid too much for fees associated with completing their sentences via probation, supervision, or community service. Judge Charles Beach II says his administration found a technical glitch in the probation department that prevented the money from going out in a limited number of cases. We don't know how much money or how many people are involved. His office says the discovery was made during a review of several departments.
We're going northbound on the inner drive. Look at that. That ain't even plowed there, man. We're like in downtown Chicago.
Roberto Valdez Calixto pled guilty to second-degree murder charges. Back in 2005, Valdez Calixto and 3 other co-defendants struck a man, whipped them with a belt, fought and fatally stabbed him after an argument inside a Harvard home. When law enforcement showed up, he ran from the scene and remained on the run for 18 years until he was arrested in 2023. Well, lake effect snow has been...
And now it looks like it's cleared up here, but that's strange, man.
Snow by tomorrow morning.
It's weird. We got a foot of snow coming.
Are shifting from east to west
there you go.
SubX.News, creating
News.
whiteout conditions at times. And
January 14, 4:06 p.m.
The part of this, whipping the snow sideways, kicking up waves on the lake. We're in LaPorte County, which is sort of ground zero for this system. Sergeant Glenn Fifield with the Indiana State Police.
From everything I'm seeing, again, this is going to be an all-day thing with intermittent whiteout conditions. So if you have to travel today, be well aware that you can go from visibility and within seconds not be able to see 10, 20 feet in front of your car.
Take it easy, he says. Leave some distance and don't think your four-wheel drive is going to help you stop any faster. In northwest
Main road right here in downtown. I don't know. How come there's snow still on it?
Transition into the traffic department.
4:06 p.m. January 14, 2026.
this morning across the expressways, tollways, and the roads in northwest Indiana. It was brutal. Much better now. We're
Chicago
first because we do have a crash getting cleaned up, and this is why you're heavy inbound from the spur ramp to before Willow. Everything off on the right shoulder. 42 minutes to
and these guys are going fast like maniac. That guy's a maniac there. He's going close to 40 miles an hour.
30 off the junction.
You ain't gonna stop, man. I gotta take a break here. I gotta post something.
Out to O'Hare. The Eisenhower outbound at 40 to Manheim, 1 hour to the Jane Addams Tollway. If you're coming in on 290, expect 57 between the Jane Addams and the Danbury interchange. 34 in from Manheim. On the Stevenson out, 32 to the Midway exit. That's Cicero Avenue. 46 to get to the Tri-State, hour 3 to 355. 45 inbound, 28 if you're coming in from 294. The Dan Ryan is 30 minutes out, 17 coming in. I-57 with a delay outbound past the Dan Ryan to past Halstead, and a backup on the Bishop Ford inbound at the Dan Ryan. We saw the Lakeshore Drive delays on either side of Chicago Avenue, and you're packed in through Graham Park on the tollways, the Tri-State southbound, on the brakes Roosevelt to Ogden, and from 111 to 127th on the Ronald Reagan Tollway. I-88 eastbound, expect brake lights from York over to the northbound Tri-State ramp. Everything else looking okay. That includes the roads in northwest Indiana. A little slow on 8094 eastbound from the state line to Broadway. From the Metro Traffic Center, your next report's 418. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Windy and bitterly cold tonight. Still the lake effect snow persistent in northwest Indiana. Maybe 6 to 12 inches of snow likely by tomorrow. A low tonight of 12. Tomorrow breezy and cold, some sunshine with a high around 27. We've got 19 at O'Hare right now, 21 in Aurora, flurries in Waukegan where it's 19, 20 Lakefront, another down day on Wall Street, the Dow off by 42. The NASDAQ was the real loser, down 238. It's 410.
Start the new year moving, not hurting. If joint pain is holding you back, listen up. There's a way to get real relief without surgery, without downtime, without putting your life on pause. Cisco Cotto here for QC Kinetics. Dr. Caravelli and the other medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Chicago deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas where you're feeling that pain. The achy knees, hips, shoulders, back, wherever it hurts. Instead of facing an invasive operation, it puts you on the sidelines for months. These treatments happen right in the office, and then you go about your day. Simple procedures that can deliver big, life-changing results. Skip the 3 to 6 months of recovery. Skip the pain, the invasive surgery. Start 2026 with a path to pain-free living. QC Kinetics weekend appointments available. 312-697-1119. 312-697-1119. 312-697-1119.
It is 411, a multi-million-dollar community complex coming to Chicago's west side.
The city's Department of Planning and Development selected a proposal to redevelop a roughly 1-acre site in East Garfield Park into the Madison Street Athletic and Cultural Complex. The 30,000 square foot, $42.2 million campus will be located in the 2900 block of West Madison and the 2900 block of West 5th Avenue. The city plans to sell the land to the developers for its appraised value of $996,000. Once completed, the complex will feature an indoor baseball diamond, fitness facilities, an academic learning center, music and media studio, event space, and much more. Mai Martinez, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Video game retailer GameStop closing 19 Chicago area locations as the national chain aims to reduce its footprint. The closures come on the heels of GameStop closing 590 stores nationwide last year. 10 of the 19 Chicago area stores have already stopped operating. The rest are expected to close today. Well, if you've ever been told you look like Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Williams, you can head to the Wiener Circle next week for a look-alike contest.
Next Tuesday, January 20th, the Wiener Circle will be rounding up Chicago's Caleb Williams doppelgangers at the latest look-alike contest. It'll take place at 6 p.m. at the restaurant in Lincoln Park.
GameStop stores closing Chicago.
Will get a Wiener Circle gift card, merch, and more. The contest is a continuation of the Wiener Circle's various Bears-themed events. Over the past few months, the famous hot dog joint has been giving away hot dogs when certain goals are met during Bears games. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And registration now open for the 26th annual Polar Plunge to raise money and awareness for Special Olympics. Every year, more than 5,000 crazy participants are expected to take a dip into Lake Michigan at North Avenue Beach on Sunday, March 1st. If you're looking to be part of the annual plunge, participants are asked to raise a minimum of $200 for the cause. For more information, you can visit specialchildrenscharities.org. Well, snow still in northwest Indiana. Could be a cold weekend ahead for the Big Bears game, though. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast is next.
Stay on top of the news. Sign up for WBBM's daily newsletter. Up-to-date information delivered right to your inbox. Click on the Connect tab on WBBMNewsRadio.com and sign up today.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them.
What's up, everybody? Hey, I'm not going to say anything. I'm shocked by this weather. That's it. It's cold. It's frigid cold. It was 60 degrees last week, and now it's, what, 0 or something? I don't even know what temperature is. My lights ain't working on my car. There we go. Now I can see. It's 23 degrees. It was 63 last week, so 63 to 23. Yeah, that's what we got going on in Chicago. My whole side street, I don't know if you've seen a video, the whole street is just pure ice. It isn't even salted, my side street on 37th Street. It's pure ice. So be very careful when you're going out, your sidewalks and all that. And I was just talking with my wife as we were driving. If you look at all the bike lanes and all of that, they don't allow proper plowing. So when the temperature goes up and down and it melts and freezes again, you got water everywhere in the middle of the street. These bike lanes weren't designed for a pure city transportation system, right? That's what I keep saying. The bike lane should be on the sidewalk, away from the cars when it's safe. Secondly, it's not in the middle of the road. So then the road gets plowed however way it gets plowed, right? And then the sidewalk gets plowed however way it gets plowed. Now you have bikes, cars, bike lanes, weeple walking, car. You've got all kinds of weird stuff everywhere. Not only is it dangerous, but as you can see in our weather, now you have ice and water everywhere, right? It doesn't drain right. Again, when it's going to melt, you have snow and ice in the middle of the road because you got these curbs or barriers or whatever you call them. And they're not letting the water drain down properly, so it's going to refreeze again. So you're going to have more ice. It's going to be more dangerous. But I guess somebody made a ton of money on that stuff, right? We should look into that, right? I think that's the main thing. Look into how did it happen.
There's a new challenge ahead. That comes Sunday with the Rams visiting for the divisional round. The Bears held a walkthrough this afternoon. Here's Rick Gregg with the report.
These teams both featured top 10 run games in the regular season, but DeAndre Swift's Bears sputtered down the stretch, failed the top 100 yards in round one against the Packers, and now have to deal with the fearsome foursome that is the Rams' defensive line.
They've been phenomenal all year. I feel like that's the strength of their defense, I would say, in my opinion. Them guys up front, man, they get after it, relentless. We got to be in our P's and Q's offensively. We got to execute the right way. We got to be detailed every single play. It's a great group up there.
They're especially tight in the red zone. The Rams only allowed 8 rushing touchdowns all season, disrupted the pass game at a top 10 level too. Covering the Bears, Rick Gregg, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
It's a 5:30 kickoff on Sunday at Soldier Field. The winner goes on to the NFC Championship, meeting with either the Seahawks or the 49ers. That game, of course, between those two teams being played out in Seattle. On the AFC side, it's the Bills in Denver to meet with the Broncos. The Patriots will host the Texans for a game in Foxborough. In the NBA, the Bulls welcome the Jazz to the West Side. Tip-off is set for 7. Tune it to 670, the score for the call. And, of course, is the second game of a back-to-back with the Bulls losing last night in Houston. And in the college game, Illinois will head up to Evanston to meet with Northwestern. That's a 7:30 tip-off from Welsh Ryan Arena. The Fighting Illini are ranked 13th in the country, while the Wildcats are 0-5 in Big Ten play, looking for their first conference win and trying to do so against a rival. With sports at 16:46, I'm Chris Emma of 670, the score for News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Chris, thank you. It is 4:18 now. Traffic sponsored by Chicago's North Shore Convention and Visitors Bureau. How are the afternoon roads, Neil?
Not a lot of trouble spots, thankfully, but we have delays. delays. It's hard to get away from that in rush hour, right? Eden's coming in. You have a heavy delay from the spur ramp to before Willow. Earlier crash now cleared. Everything out of the lanes. 35 to the Kennedy Junction from Lake Cook Road. On the outbound ride on the Edens, you're clear.
See, I'm not imagining this, right? I'm not just an old cranky guy complaining about the weather in my bones, right? Hey, what's up, Anna? So, yeah, it's bad. I mean, Anna lives in my neighborhood. She'll tell you those streets are crazy in our neighborhood in McKinley Park. It seems like they didn't plan it. The north and south streets seem to have been done, but the east and west streets aren't done yet. They're pure ice. And, I mean, I'm sorry. If you're the city, you need to see all of this stuff in the middle there. See that? That's all ice. See that white stuff? It's ice. I get it, those are turning lanes, but we need to think about that, right? I mean, is that stuff, how much safety is that? You see that? So the sidewalk isn't clean over there. You see what I'm talking about right there? Look in front of you right there. See that there? So everything is plowed except a patch because you have some stuff in the middle of the road. In the old days, they would plow the whole road back and forth. That's what happens. You see that there? So that little patch is not cleared. So that's ice right there. So that's dangerous for walkers, for drivers, for bicyclists, for whatever is going to look at that. You see that there? How come that isn't clean? See that there? Why? That's pure ice. You can see it. I can look at it right now. It's pure ice. That's not snow. It's ice. So what's the problem here? You have people who are running whatever they're doing, civil engineering, they're running, designing, and selling these middle things, whatever you call these, traffic things, right? And it's not safe. When you have patches of ice where it's not, see, look, it's clear. This is how a street should be. Now look at the next thing right there. Look, there's a patch of ice. See the patch of ice right there? That's ice right there. That's pure ice. See that there? So everything is cleared except one little piece. Something is wrong. Someone designed it wrong. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So who are these people that are having these jobs, $200,000-$300,000 jobs, working in our city that don't think about people, right? Why aren't you fixing the things the right way? And why are we paying these people? Why does somebody make that much money? They might make more, and the thing isn't done right. Why is it right? There you go. That's all ice right there. You see the ice right there? This is the main tourist attraction here in Chicago. Look at that. This is Michigan Avenue, the Wrigley Building, Tribune Building. This is the main area, right? How come we have ice right there? It shouldn't be ice. You kind of get where I'm going with this? And look, so what are the liberals going to tell me? Oh, that's your fault. Your fault. That's not my fault. We pay somebody. He's the mayor. He's in charge of all the city crews to fix that. First of all, it shouldn't be like that in our downtown area where there's tourists. There shouldn't be anywhere like that. Secondly, why is it designed that way? Who did the design process? And maybe we need to sue them. Maybe we need to sue the person who did that, who designed the street that way that it makes a patch of ice where people walk. I'm sorry to say that they just filed a lawsuit for this lady that got killed in Minneapolis. I get it. There's going to be a lawsuit. But why aren't we suing people who work in the government who rip us off and who destroy our I don't know, how we live, right? That they create the conditions that make it bad for us. Like Flint, Michigan. Did any of those people go to jail? None. They poisoned all they poisoned the whole city, Flint, Michigan. A whole city they poisoned. No one went to jail. Not one person. That was Republicans out there, by the way. They poisoned people. So, you know, you can say you're Democrats, Republicans, blah, 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 blah. They're both as bad. Flint, Michigan. You remember Flint, Michigan? They poisoned the whole city. Why? To save a little bit of money. See what I'm talking about? The ice right there in the middle? That's ice. That's pure ice right there. All of that. And when it melts, the temperature goes up and down. It turns into water. Then it goes on the street. Then it becomes ice and on the street. So even though the guy plows it, maybe, we have a thing that creates right? It creates ice on our streets, and it shouldn't be, right? I guess that's where I'm going to, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? If we are like in 2026, and we're supposed to be super smart, smarter than our grandparents, blah 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 blah, then why aren't we? Yeah, why aren't we doing the things like Marietta says? Why aren't we fixing these things? Who's responsible, right?
And here's Tom Busby.
After a weak October, retail sales rose in November by the most since July thanks to robust spending ahead of the holidays, a ton of people buying new cars, and going to restaurants and bars. Consumers also spent a record-breaking amount online. Despite officials from Denmark saying it has a fundamental disagreement with President Trump's plans for Greenland, Denmark and the U.S. have agreed to hold high-level talks on the future of that critical island, and that helped turn around some steep earlier losses on Wall Street today. That follows a rise in wholesale inflation in November and disappointed earnings and outlooks from Wells Fargo and some other big banks. The Dow today down just 42 points at the close. The Nasdaq lost 238. That's a 1% decline. The S&P was down 37. Goldman Sachs Bank leading a takeover of the historic Radford Studio Center lot in Hollywood, where silent movies were made, and so was Seinfeld. That's after its private equity owner defaulted on a $1 billion mortgage loan. With business at 23 and 53 from the Bloomberg Newsroom, Tom Busby, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Gonna crash now on northbound DeSable Lakeshore Drive. We're going to check in with traffic in a few minutes here. It's 4:24.
If your money is not earning at least 6% tax deferred, you need to call Professional Life and Casualty. They're offering 6% APY guaranteed on new funds deposited into your annuity accounts. You pay no surrender charges, no administration fees, and no withdrawal fees. A 6% APY guaranteed return tax deferred. Only from Professional Life and Casualty. Visit plcinsurance.com.
So I think that's what we need to do as the economy constricts or grows smaller and we have less pool of money. Right, there you go, right? There's ice there. There should, here, how about this? Isn't there somebody downtown in charge of the tourism and stuff? Shouldn't we be watching that? We don't want no tourists. See that lady? She almost slipped there. That's the point. You can say, whoa, yeah, you're nitpicking. No, I'm not. I'm in downtown Chicago. It's 4:24 p.m. There should be no ice on the sidewalk, man. I don't want no tourists slipping. Why? He's going to sue our city for $1 billion, and the city's going to say, oh, yeah, pay him. Pay him $1 billion, right? That's how that's how it operates. Why? Because the city's half operated by lawyers. Scumbag, two-bit, no nothing. The union's lawyer, Robert Block, he's a know-nothing vapor, man. He vapes. He left his wife for a girl that he was representing. That dude broke ARDC rules. He was screwing his client while he was married, while being paid by the union. And the client was the union. He was screwing somebody in the office there. That's the kind of two-bit lawyers we have. And that guy's on top of the food chain right now, man. He was the person for the union, though. You got a ton of these lawyers out there, man. They're two-bit, man. They don't care about us, me and you. They're out to grease their own wheels, man. They want our money. They want our tax dollars. So they don't care if the streets are plowed or if there's ice or if a police officer shoots somebody, right? That's why they're gonna make money. And whose money is that? That's our money. See, the government needs to be protecting our money. That's what I'm talking about now, right? The government needs to be set up in such a way that our tax dollars should be like a mason jar underneath the mattress, like Grandma used to have. You don't get no money out of Grandma. That kind of, the government should be like that. And I thought it used to be, but it isn't. When I was in the system in CPS, there was waste and spending, but it was so hard. When you were in, you got the money and there was corruption. But nowadays, I feel like the government just gives out money. They don't care. Why? Because it's not their money. It's like Brandon Johnson. There was just a news story. You're going to hear it at 4:30. He gave out like $40 million from some sports facility on the west side when there ain't nobody on the west side. It's abandoned. I just showed you yesterday. He said by 5th Avenue. You know where I'm talking about, right? That's over by Douglas High School, I believe. There ain't nothing there. There's no people there. What is it for? It's for the developers. It's a crony contract for $40 million. You might hear it again at 4:30 p.m. So he don't care. He's giving away our money. That's our money. It's not his money. He's a bum. Brandon Johnson's a bum from Elgin. He doesn't have no roots in Chicago. He's a bum. Second, he never worked for anybody. He's never had a job. He's only done politics all his life. Oh, he was a teacher. Man, he wasn't a teacher. He got fired as a teacher from an all-black school because he said he doesn't take grades. He was in a school in the ghetto. And he said, I'm not going to do grades and tests. That principal fired him. They laid him off. Then somehow in 6 months he got a high school teaching certificate, which I never heard of. That you could get it that quick. When I started inquiring about that years ago with the State Board of Education, I said, how did a guy get how did he switch certificates that fast? Oh, it's confidential. I'm like, what do you mean it's confidential? It's a State Board of Education records. How did he get his high school teaching certificate, right? Who signed off on it? And then I found out, and you think these people are separated. You know who got him the job over there? He was working at Westinghouse. That was the former CEO, Janice Jackson. So in public, they pretend to fight, right? The union versus blah, 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 and blah, 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 right? We're enemies. But the only way you get a certificate that quick is if a principal signs off on it, or an administrator in the school district, or a university does. There is no other way. I know, because I got my certificate a certain way through a university. Jim Kestner showed me the whole process. He taught me a lot of stuff. I talked to you guys about that guy from Eastern Illinois. He's a good man. Jim Kestner. Look him up. So he taught me the way you get a certificate is someone signs a paper that vouches for you. It doesn't matter who it is, but you sign it. Nowadays, they won't even give you the signatures anymore. I asked who signed off on Brandon Johnson's certificate, and they won't release the signature. They won't release the person. And if you look at a lot of the new government documents, they don't date them, they don't sign them, and they don't say who created the document anymore. It's called the bug on the bottom. All government documents in the old days, not only were they signed and dated by whoever authorized the document, they had a bug on the bottom. Who was the person who prepared the document with the date? Got it? That's what they're doing to all of us. So again, how does this go back to shoveling and ice and all that? Well, it means there's no accountability. Listen to the news.
In sports, Bulls at home to take on
4:30
Jazz
news.
in business.
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. Down arrows again on Wall Street. The Dow today down 42 points. The NASDAQ down 238. The S&P down by 37.
Flurries, 19 degrees, winds out of the northwest, gusting at 25 miles an hour. The news continues now at 4:31. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says city lawyers will fight any attempt by President Trump to claw back federal funding earmarked for the city. The story now from WBBM political editor Jeff Buckles.
The mayor was here at the Chicago Police Calumet District Station talking about the city's work bringing down violent crime. Afterward, he told reporters his administration will go to court to fight the president's bid to cut off federal funding for Chicago and other sanctuary jurisdictions starting February 1st.
I'm not going to entertain his threat as a function that he can actually do.
His administration insists that the city's ordinance preventing police from helping federal immigration agents builds trust in neighborhoods and helps bring down crime, despite what the president told an audience in Detroit.
It breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come.
The mayor says he's counting on state lawmakers to help the city withstand a potential financial blow from Washington. We're with the mayor in Pullman, Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
Meantime, Illinois Congresswoman Robin Kelly leading an effort to impeach Christy Nome.
Representative Kelly says 70 members of Congress have signed on to co-sponsor articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Christy Nome. Kelly, who is running to replace retiring Senator Dick Durbin, filed 3 articles of impeachment against Nome: obstruction of Congress, violation of public trust, and self-dealing.
Secretary Nome has denied me and other members of Congress oversight of ICE detention facilities. Secretary
Nome directed DHS agents to arrest people without warrants. Secretary Nome has abused her power for personal benefit.
In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security says the impeachment efforts are, quote, silly, and accuses Kelly of focusing on showmanship and fundraising clicks.
I want to tell her right now, Secretary Nome, you have violated your oath of office, and there will be consequences. I am watching you. Members of Congress are watching you. The American people.
Look, I know the news is important, but look at the sky there, man. Look at that sky. We're gonna go check that sunset out in a second. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Recently, someone wrote me a racist letter at my school, and it wasn't just offensive, it was sickening.
The student, Julian Blevins,
Silence protects the problem. That post reached over 2,000 people, parents, students, and community members who came forward with their own experiences, and then it was deleted. Not because it was hateful, but because it exposed something people didn't want to face.
Blevins said he reported it to the administration and asked his teacher, did she know about it? For that, he said,
Virginia Home. Pattinson has been covering the administration's transformation of federal programs and recently published an article about her heavy workload after hundreds of federal workers began reaching out with tips and complaints. The warrant points specifically to the investigation of a Maryland tech specialist, Aurelio Perez Ligones, a government contractor who was charged earlier this month for allegedly taking screenshots of classified documents and taking printouts home. The White House says leaks will not be tolerated and puts America's security at risk. First Amendment groups expressed alarm, saying the search could chill investigative journalism that holds government officials to account. Jennifer King, Washington.
Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with the Danish and Greenland foreign ministers today. Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes has our story.
We're told that the Danes and the Greenlandic representatives just want to get a better understanding of what exactly it is that President Trump is threatening to do, what he is seeking to do. Obviously, yesterday, the Greenlandic premier came out and said point blank that Greenland wants to remain a part of Denmark. It doesn't want to be part of the United States.
The two sides did agree to create a working group to discuss ways to work through differences as President Trump continues to call for a U.S. takeover of Greenland. Meantime, we're getting a clearer idea of what Americans think about President Trump's intervention in Venezuela.
A new poll shows most Americans believe President Donald Trump has gone too far in using the U.S. military to intervene in other countries. The Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs research poll finds 56% of Americans say Trump has overstepped in using the military for foreign intervention, and most Americans continue to disapprove of how the Republican president is handling foreign policy. The poll also shows Americans overwhelmingly do not want the U.S. to take a more active role in solving the world's problems. Only about 2 in 10 American adults say the U.S. should take a more active role in solving global issues, including just 1 in 10 Republicans. I'm Julie Walker.
Enjoy Chicago's holiday season. Whether you're at a party or parade, the city reminds you to be vigilant in crowds. Remember the key to public safety. See something, say something. Be aware of your surroundings and report anything suspicious. If you see something, call 911 immediately.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
I give up. Where are they?
Who?
Employees.
What?
You say Hasselus Mattress Showrooms don't have any employees. Come on, bud. I know better.
I assure you.
Are they cooped up in a secret back room?
Huh?
Or waiting outside in the bushes?
Sir.
I know. They're hiding under the bed, aren't they?
Listen, Hasselus Mattress Showrooms really are employee-free. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Nope, don't believe it.
You won't believe our prices.
Let's see if we can get to the sunset tonight. Oh, man, I missed it. But did you see the sun? It was pointing up through the clouds there. I got some video of it.
$520. But our everyday low Hasselus.
All right, we'll sit up here and then we'll keep moving, right? We'll listen to some radio calls, right?
Next you'll say I can get a free adjustable base with my purchase through Monday.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Oh, come on.
Oh, there it is. You see the sun pointing up through the clouds? Look at that.
Employee-free showroom near you.
See that, how the sun is right there?
Lowest gas prices from News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Sponsored by PackyWeb4.com. Packyweb Ford will beat any competitor's deal on any new F-150, Ranger, Maverick, Super Duty, or Transit. For details, visit PackyWeb4.com. In Willow Springs, the Citgo and Archer and Flavin has gas for $2.57. In Bedford Park, the Amoco on 65th and Natchez has gas for $2.79 a gallon. Coming up.
This is Andy Dane. The Chicago Bears help a streaming service make some history.
There you go. See that?
438.
See the how?
Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing.
See how the sun is popping up there? It's pretty cool there, huh? Sunset. What time is sunset tonight? Let me double check. Right? Maybe we do a sunset video. We haven't done one of them in a long time, huh? 4:44. There we go. We might do a sunset video. How about that? I'll put on some meditation music. Relax a little bit from the hubbub, right?
The express lane said before, 38 to O'Hare.
That's the sun popping up. Did you see that there?
On the outbound side of the Eisenhower, 35 to Manheim, 56 to the Jane Addams. Coming inbound from I-90 in hour 2, 38 in from Manheim. I-55 to Stevenson outbound, heavy past the Dan Ryan to Harlem. Then again from LaGrange Road to Cass. 44 to the Tri-State, an hour drive to 355. Delays in on the Stevenson from Cass Avenue to the Tri-State and First Avenue to Kedzie. 45 in from the Veterans and 30 minutes in from 294. Southside, the Dan Ryan, 27 out. Not bad coming inbound, a little slow for Roosevelt.
That's the sun. That thing that's going up, that's the sun going through the clouds, straight up.
Same deal in Northwest Indiana. Just delays on 8094 eastbound from Calumet over to Broadway. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report, 448, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
The WBBM Acura with a forecast. Windy and bitterly cold for tonight. A few flurries early on, turning out partly cloudy down at 12. Real feels dipping below zero. Lake effect snow continuing across northwest Indiana, where there could be 6 to 12 inches of accumulation through early tomorrow. Then brisk and cold for tomorrow. Sun mixing with clouds. High 27. Another round of snow tomorrow night into Friday, accumulating 1 to 3 inches. High Friday afternoon, 37. And now Lakefront 21, Midway 20. 21 Palatine, O'Hare 19, going down to 12. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Fearing.
All right, John, it's 4:40. The Chicago Bears weren't the only big winners this past weekend.
One last guess. Moving guys around. Fires to the end zone, and it is broken up. The Bears win it in a crazy one.
Al Michaels on the Amazon Prime broadcast. A game so crazy, it made history. Nielsen data shows the thrilling playoff contest drew a record 31.61 million viewers, making it the first ever streaming NFL game to record more than 30 million viewers. For comparison, the Vikings and Lions Christmas Day showdown on Netflix averaged around 27 million viewers, while playoff games on Prime and Peacock last season both hovered around 22 million. Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
In Detroit, the big auto show kicks off the event with some honors.
Winner of the North American Car of the Year is the Dodge Charger. The Charger, both.
It came down this morning. It's all over the streets, man. I just had a video of the ice on the streets, brother. It's everywhere.
Lowrider style.
Ford earning the Truck of the Year for 6 years in a row is truly a testament to Ford's commitment to truck excellence.
Ford's Pam Wiley, the Hyundai Palisade winning North American Utility of the Year. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
An Albuquerque police officer's radio may have saved his life.
Officer Michael Golden and his partner were arresting a man wanted for auto theft and assault when the suspect fired a gun from his coat pocket. A bullet hit Officer Golden's radio on his chest. He was not injured. Golden's partner shot the suspect, killing him.
Thank God for your radio placement, dude.
Interim Police Chief Cecily Barker says the suspect had a long criminal history.
And this is an example of someone who should not have been out, should not have had a firearm, and we are very lucky that our officers are safe.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A British barber has banned members of the government from his salon.
London barber Michael Van Clark won't say which cabinet ministers are his customers, but he's now refusing to cut the hair of any of them.
We're suffering so much from government policy that we thought that really we couldn't welcome cabinet members into the salon, given that we're suffering so much because of their policies.
Tax hikes and a rise in the minimum wage have hit British businesses hard. So Van Clark says there will be no trims for cabinet ministers until they trim their policies. Vicky Barker, CBS News.
The NFL's divisional round of the playoffs is on AM 780. Listen Sunday.
Hey, I don't know how good you can see it on the video, but you see there's the sun right. It's right in the middle there. See that little triangle thing on the bottom there? I don't even know what that is. If that's a building or if that's some kind of it looks like a roof. But you see the sun right there? It's pretty cool. See that there? That's the sunset right in the middle of your screen right there. Pretty cool there, huh? Yeah, we take a break sometimes from the craziness. There we go. How about that? 4:44 p.m., right? It's coming up. It's windy up here. See it there? That's the sunset right in front of you. Right there. That. See where that glow is right there? That's it. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty nice, ain't it? It's glowing. So you remember it was shooting straight up a few minutes ago.
Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show is drawing some new criticism for having a height requirement. A supposedly leaked application to the on-field crew says only people between 5'7" and 6 feet tall can apply. Not clear why there is a height requirement or if halftime shows have had them in the past, but most likely has to do with people fitting into uniforms that have already been purchased. And there's an app for everything we know, and now there's one that pings you every couple of days to make sure you're still alive. It's called Are You Dead? Oh my gosh. And it's become one of the top-selling apps out there, especially in China, where more than 120 million people live alone. Wow. If the user doesn't check in regularly on the app, it automatically sends an alert to an emergency contact warning of a possible problem. Wow, that makes sense, actually. 4:46. Time to find a Porsche Cayenne at PorscheLincolnwood.com. Time for sports now, and who is very much alive? Chris Emma from The Score.
Glad to be here, Lisa.
Oh, yeah.
The anticipation built well before kickoff Saturday night at Soldier Field. This city was ready for its grand stage. The Bears met the moment. Sunday brings the next opportunity, the divisional round. The Rams come to town representing a great challenge. These Bears hope to match the billing and deliver a victory. As the excitement builds once again, Montez Sweat is ready.
Yeah, it was the best atmosphere that I've ever been a part of in my whole playing career. I was thinking about it yesterday. I mean, this is probably the most fun I've had as a player. Just playing football, playoff football is fun. And I mean, next week, we're expecting the same thing. I mean, the fans showed up and showed out last week. The state's tired this week, so I'm expecting even bigger.
5:30 kickoff Sunday at Soldier Field. The Bears held a walkthrough this afternoon in Lake Forest. DJ Moore, Romadou, and Saber among those limited with injuries. Of course, they should be in line to go. In the NBA, the Bulls welcome the Jazz to the UC. Tip-offs comes at 7 o'clock. Tune it to 670, the score for the call. In college basketball, Northwestern plays host to Illinois tonight in Evanston. It's a 7:30 tip-off between those two teams. On the ice, the Blackhawks welcome the Flames to the UC tomorrow night. They're currently 4 points out of a wild card seed with 36 to play. And back to the NFL, where there are currently 9 openings for head coaching jobs. The most recent vacancy came yesterday as Mike Tomlin stepped down following 19 years with the Steelers. Among the top candidates for jobs around the league is a familiar name, Matt Nagy, the former Bears head coach. He's in line to potentially land one of those positions. With sports at 16:46, I'm Chris Emma of 670, the score for News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
4:48. Thank you, Chris. Time for traffic now, and here's Neil Fiorito.
A lot better in Northwest Indiana now, guys. We'll start on 8094, just to the way eastbound from Calumet over to Broadway, and a slight backup on 65 northbound as you make your way in spots from 61st.
It's cold out. I can feel it in my car. I turned off the heat to listen to the radio, and it's cold out.
Avenue and I-57. Expressways, Eden's coming in. Brake lights past the spur ramp to Old Orchard. Then again from Peterson to the Kennedy.
Ready to get moving? Let's get moving.
District car 7058.
Let's see what's going on out in the city.
Number 08192.
7 out.
7
Squad, can I get event number for O'Hare Blue Line train ride mission from O'Hare to Jefferson Park? Car number 7203.
Alright, it is 08198.
That's for thank you. M2.
M2, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, squad. Can I get one for the main and another one for Vietnam?
Yep, main branch is 08268. 08268. Vietnam will be 08269. 08269.
7397.
7397.
Yeah, let's try to get a event number for a smoking mission, X Larkin Division. Thank you, homing down with 97 Adam and 97 Charlie.
Alright, 10-4. That'll be 08307. 08307.
8370. I'd like to add myself along with 83 George on that as well.
Alright, you got it, sir. Same with that number. 08307.
7388 Charlie and David.
7388 Charlie.
Can I get to events upper and lower at the Blue Line and Racine, please?
Yep, it is 08315 and 08317.
7389.
7389.
Can I get a event number for a train ride going inbound, starting at Fullerton?
Alright, that works.
Bye.
No problem. 08323. 08323.
10-4, hold Attaboy, David Hattie with me.
Number.
7388 boy.
7388 boy.
I can see that number Blue Line at McKenzie Home Stop, car 3248.
Okay, that is 08339.
7384 Charlie.
7 for Charlie.
Charlie Squad, 7384 Adam through Eddie, taking a train ride south back to Roosevelt. Oh, north, sorry.
Alright, Tower, 08362.
Thank you, sir. 595 Frank.
6595 Frank.
Our investigation 8724 South Essex.
Okay, that is 08368. 08368.
4734.
4734. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. 7395 Charlie.
795 Charlie.
You put us on that smoking mission on Clark Division. You get that event over?
Oh yeah, 08307. 08307.
7395 boy, can you throw that up on that as well?
Yeah.
2389 George.
89 George.
Well, we're going to be at Clark and Lake. May we have two numbers, one for the upper and one for the lower, please?
We're going to go back into downtown now.
08397 and 08399.
Copy, 65. 6595 David.
6595 David.
We have a firearms investigation, 4110 North Lincoln, and do you know the beat?
Okay, it is 08405, 08405, and it is beat 1911.
Well, thank you.
Alright.
595 Frank.
6595 Frank.
Can I get an ID for a 5114 from Essex, sir?
And that'll be John King 115322. 115322. Same event number 08368.
7386 Adam.
786 Adam.
These two event numbers, Jackson Red Line, upper lower, please.
Yep, that is 08439 and 08441.
Sorry, 383 Frank.
783 Frank.
I get a bus check 79 Loomis, bus 1613.
Alright, that is 08473. $3212.
3212.
I got a crash, 3900 south on the northbound, black Nissan Murano into the median. It sounds like it's just the one car. CFD's rolling. 99.
14 mile ride with 12.
Stanford.
6595 Adam.
6595 Adam.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mike. Could you give me an event number, please, for a firearms investigation? 10116 South Calumet.
Alright, that is 08570. 08570. 739 to Charlie.
I guess you on the parking lot, green and blue.
Yep, it is 08575 and 08576.
6595 David.
6595 David.
Grab an RT for 5114.
And that'll give you John King 115354. 115354. Same event number 08405.
Poor thing.
You are welcome.
7388 Adam.
7388 Adam.
I give you that number for the blue light at again. Car 311.
Okay, that is 08618.
4721.
4721.
40% with a positive, and good night.
Alright, good night.
$3212.
3212.
Yeah, single vehicle accident. I got CFD here with me.
Stand for it.
$3212. Can you also start rolling a reload over here? It's going to be for a Nissan Murano.
Alright, over.
7383 Frank.
783 Frank.
I get a bus check 79 to COE, bus 8835.
Alright, that is 08640.
3212. Can you drop RD for a 99 boy?
Yeah, John King 115371. 115371. Bed number 08503. 08503.
7393 David.
790 David.
Can I get an ETA check on fire for light 1 for blue, 1 for green?
Yeah, 08677 and 08678.
2234 units and 22 units on citywide. A battery in progress at the Jewel Food Store. 11730 South Marshfield. 11730 South Marshfield for a female white fighting security. Female white's wearing a dark jacket and hoodie. No weapons visible, nothing further. District 22, Zone 9 clear.
7386 boy and Charlie.
786 boy.
Can we please get 2 event numbers of Clarkson Lake, upper and lower?
Yep, that is 08709 and 087 3710.
10-4.
The free units in 3 in the city was the person with a knife, 6942 South Cornell, 6942 South Cornell, apartment 1 Adam. Call 50 males pointing a knife at him. Got nothing further, 3rd District 17.
6595 Adam.
6595 Adam.
Can I get an ID for a 5114 from the Calumet address, please?
Yep, John King, 115386. 115386, and same event number 08570.
Hopefully, thank you. 7383 Charlie.
7383 Charlie.
2 more numbers, 79 to red line.
08728 and 08729.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm going to switch to the local news. But there's some people walking on the walkway on a Tuesday, which is not that bad. See? You see them walking up there? This is the second busiest train station here in the city of Chicago. So this place should be packed. There's some people walking up there. Is that enough people? I don't know. You see some spaces there. We're going to listen to the 5 o'clock local news, by the way.
Endeavour begins its journey home with the Crew 11 crew.
The undocking came after the astronauts orbited Earth 2,600 times. They spent 5 months in space.
As they begin about a 10.5-hour journey to a splashdown off the coast of San Diego in the wee hours Thursday morning.
The mission cut short due to a medical issue with one of the astronauts. There are 2 Americans, a Russian and a Japanese astronaut. NASA has emphasized this is not an emergency, and the astronaut who has not been named is stable.
The U.S. Senate is expected to soon vote on War Powers resolution to limit President Trump's ability to further strike Venezuela. It appears unlikely to pass as the White House puts pressure on Republicans.
It's kind of empty. You see that? There's some people walking up there, but there's nobody walking down here. You see that? I might go around the block and show you from the opposite way, right?
Rasmussen says that the U.S. and Denmark have to agree to disagree.
For us, ideas that would not respect territorial integrity
Whoa,
of the
that was
Kingdom of
ice
Denmark
there. That was ice patch there.
are, of course, totally unacceptable.
Greenland's deputy minister says more NATO troops are to arrive there in the coming days. France, Germany, and Nordic countries said earlier they would be taking part in a European military mission to the autonomous Danish territory. A day after he told CBS News that there would be very strong actions against the Iranian regime if it hangs accused anti-government protesters. Well, President Trump today says,
"We were told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and stopping, and there's no plan for executions."
Trump says he has been told that on good authority and that they are trying to find out about it. It was 1 week ago today that Renee Good was shot to death by an agent in South Minneapolis. CBS.
We know that the ICE agent involved, Jonathan Ross, suffered internal bleeding to the torso, still trying to parse out just how extensive his treatment was in hospital. We do know that he was seen by doctors at a...
So the officer was hit by the car.
Homeland Security Secretary Christy Nome previously acknowledged that Ross was taken to the hospital after the shooting and was recovering from his injuries. This is CBS News.
So the dude did get hit by the car.
I'm Agent Garrett. Follow and listen to the takeout on the free audio.
Kind of strange that we're hearing this. We're hearing this a week after this lady was shot. That the officer ended up in the hospital. Pretty wild, ain't it? So an officer ended up in the hospital. Yeah. Sounds like it was a justified shooting there.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have cloudy skies, 19 degrees. We've got the winds whipping out of the northwest, though, at 22 miles an hour, which makes it feel more like below zero. That's the story into today. Looks like even colder by the weekend for the Bears game. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up at 5:15. But first, Governor Pritzker says the federal government's termination of thousands of federal dollars and grants supporting mental health and addiction treatment programs will put people at risk. The details from WBBM's Terry Keshner.
The U.S. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration has reportedly terminated thousands of federal grants supporting mental health and addiction treatment programs. CBS News says the grants were worth nearly $2 billion. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, speaking at an unrelated news conference, said the abrupt end to the grants is dangerous.
Honestly, this is going to cause deaths, and it's going to cause crime to go up. When you don't provide mental health and substance use treatment, as the federal government's funding does, when you take that away, people are going to die. They just are.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin said in a statement that the cuts are, quote, a step backwards that will cost lives. WBBM has contacted the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration for comment. Terry Keshner, 105.9 WBBM.
People living on one North Side neighborhood are taking the city of Chicago to court. It's over a change, they say, will forever alter the character of a well-traveled north-south street.
If you drive or take the 36 bus up Broadway from Montrose to Devon, you'll see everything from big box stores to century-old storefronts to strip malls. Edgewater Alderwoman Lenny Mana Hoppenworth saw potential.
For more affordability, for more economic vibrance, for more people.
She talked to us last fall, just before City Council approved a plan to clear the way for more apartments and condos along nearly 2 miles of Broadway. Now a neighborhood group is suing in Cook County, saying people who live here were shut out of a process they say was driven by the mayor's office. Leader Pat Sharkey explained her objection back in October.
There was no question and answer. They were put your sticky on a placard and show what you like and don't like, and that was it.
The law department says it doesn't comment on pending litigation. We're in Edgewater. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
That's the main train station. Tell me you think it's busy.
Prosecutors say 52-year-old Sharon Christine Sackman gave medication to 3 people in 2023 that claimed to be popular weight loss drug Ozempic. Instead, investigators say the pills came from a completely different manufacturer and did not contain the active ingredients found in Ozempic. Now living in Mexico, Sackman is charged with distributing misbranded drugs and dispensing counterfeit drugs. She's pleaded not guilty and
Madison and Canal, one of the main train stations in Chicago. You tell me if it's busy. 5:05 p.m. January 14th,
Bennett Academy now modifying its plan for a new outdoor sports stadium.
While Village board members got their first look Monday at Bennett Academy's proposal to modernize its Baumgardner-Gilbert Athletic Complex. The plan has been revised with several modifications after residents expressed concerns, specifically about lights and sound. Bennett now proposes reducing the home grandstand seating from 2,000 seats to 1,400 seats and reducing the height and width of a video scoreboard. The Village Board did not make a decision on the project at Monday's meeting and is expected to continue reviewing the plan in March. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
In Carpentersville, the police department sharing an update on a Thanksgiving weekend fire. Police say 30-year-old Garland McGee has been arrested and charged with arson in connection to the November 29th fire in the far northwest suburbs. The fire left the entire building uninhabitable and homeless, 24 families homeless. Well, if you thought we got a small burst of snow in the area here in Chicago, northwest Indiana is taking the brunt of the wind-whipped lake effect snow today.
There's a brutally cold and powerful wind coming out of the north, creating large waves on the shoreline, sandblasting those who brave it, and sending the lake effect snow inland. At times you can't see very far on the lakefront or inland. The bands of snow have been shifting between the east and the west, dumping on one area and then another. We're in LaPorte County, speaking with Indiana State Police Sergeant Glenn Fifield.
If you don't have to travel today, don't. If you're debating whether or not to travel today or tomorrow, I would highly suggest making Thursday your travel day.
He said he's seen people driving without headlights. Without headlights, you don't have your taillights illuminated. And in whiteout conditions, that could be the difference between a safe trip and a crash. In LaPorte County, Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Mike, 508. We're talking traffic and we're talking weather. Still snow in northwest Indiana. Now we're going to check in on traffic and to see if the weather is affecting any of the roads, Neil.
Not too bad, actually, in our area here, Lisa. We have some delays on 8094 through northwest Indiana, eastbound from Calumet to Broadway, but really that's about it. I-65, the Indiana Toll Road throughout our area looking pretty good. The Skyway, no problems there. On the expressways, nothing major to report either. Just delays you're going to find yourself stuck in. Hard to get away from that at this time. The Eden's coming inbound. You have some traffic before Tower to Dempster. Another backup before Peterson to the Kennedy. A 36-minute ride inbound. Up on just 17 to Lake Cook. A little slow off the junction to about Foster. Once you get past that, you're free to go. Travel time on the Kennedy Expressway, 47 in, 35 out to the airport. On the Eisenhower inbound, an hour 2 for I-90 in, 42 in for Manheim. Heavy traffic from St. Charles Road to Des Plaines, then again from Costner into downtown. Outbound brake lights from the Jane Byrne to 25th Avenue, 30 to Manheim and 48 to the Jane Addams. Stevenson outbound at 25 to Cicero in case you're heading out toward Midway, 38 to the Tri-State, 53 to 355 and 43 in. Southside Expressways, the Dan Ryan leaving downtown out to the Split, 27 minutes and a little slower in the express lanes. Coming in on the Ryan, you're at 18 from the merge into downtown. Not bad on 57 or the Ford. You saw Lakeshore Drive, typical backups on either side of Chicago Avenue through Grant Park and southbound getting into Hyde Park. Tollways, Tri-State southbound slow from Roosevelt to Ogden and Dixie Highway to past Halstead. A delay on I-90 to Jane Addams West past 53 to Roselle. And the Reagan Tollway westbound backing up from Winfield to Route 59. A slight delay on the Veterans Tollway southbound, 290 to Lake Street. A couple of backups on I-80 westbound through Joliet and eastbound as you make your way through Tinley Park. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report, 518. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
For tonight, windy and cold, partly cloudy, some lake effect snow remaining in northwest Indiana, a low tonight of 12. Breezy and cold tomorrow with a high of 27. Highs only in the teens Saturday and Sunday. Right now, we've got 19 at O'Hare, 21 at the DePage Airport, 20 in Wheeling. Winds out of the northwest gusting at 22 miles an hour. It's 5:10.
Sometimes the thought of being in your warm and cozy home is what gets you through the day. But what happens when you get home and there is no heat? Who do you call for fast, reliable service? 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. You can consider it done when you trust the experts at ABC Plumbing, Sewer, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Book your appointment today at 4abc.com and consider it done.
That first year in your new home matters. With preferred pricing, Redfin and Rocket Mortgage make the path to your next home easier. When you buy with a Redfin agent and finance through Rocket Mortgage, you can lower your interest rate by 1% for 1 year or choose up to $6,000 in closing credits. See how it works at rocketmortgage.com or call 800-4ROCKET. Additional terms apply, not a commitment to lend. Rocket Mortgage LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
It is 5:11. Mayor Johnson says his administration will fight President Trump's latest promise to cut off all federal money from Chicago and other so-called sanctuary cities. The president told an audience in Detroit this week that he'll end federal funding for all cities and states with policies that limit local assistance with federal immigration enforcement. Today, Mayor Johnson told reporters that a loss of federal funding could affect many areas of city government, from public health to safety.
It's one of those areas that, I have focused on in terms of how we protect all of Chicago through investments from the city of Chicago. It's why I'm going to continue to advocate in Springfield. We're counting on them to do their part as well to mitigate the harm that this president is causing against working people.
The president claims sanctuary policies benefit criminals, but the mayor says they actually help build trust between police and local communities. Illinois also suing the Trump administration over an attempt to withhold federal funding. Attorney General Kwame Raoul claims the state would have to discriminate against trans people to meet the criteria.
The suit that was filed in Rhode Island is over a new Health and Human Services Department policy requiring hospitals and universities recognize only males and females as a condition to receive grants for health, education, and research. In joining 11 other Democratic state attorneys general, Raoul says he will continue to push back against what he calls the administration's cruel attempts to erase transgender Americans. The suit is the latest in a series of legal actions filed by Raoul and others, accusing the administration of overreaching by trying to withhold funds already approved by Congress.
Nancy Hardy, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Well, if you haven't gotten your real ID, you're certainly not alone. However, state leaders want to help make the process a bit easier ahead of a looming and costly deadline. Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias says the Real ID Supercenter at Clark and Lake will be open for the next 3 Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. He says it's designed for people who can't come in during the work week and still need to get this done before February 1st when the $45 per person penalty kicks in. A Northwest Suburban man facing a slew of charges after fleeing police so fast that his car went airborne. Lake in the Hills police say 21-year-old Edwin Garcia was driving an uninsured Camaro with no front license plate or headlights when they tried to pull him over. Rather than obey the flashing lights, the Daily Herald reports he sped off. He then alleged drove 20 miles over the speed limit when his car became airborne near the intersection of Delaware and Chippewa Trail. Law enforcement caught up with him, charged him with reckless driving, speeding, eluding a police officer, and some traffic offenses. Some lake effect snow still in northwest Indiana. Cold for the weekend. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up.
Start your day tomorrow morning with News Radio 1059. I'm Cisco Kudo.
And I'm Mai Martinez.
We'll keep you up to date on all the latest, plus traffic and weather together on the 8s.
Wake up with us on the radio, on your smart speaker, and on the Odyssey app.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 1059, WBBM. My kids make fun of me because they're my kids. One of the things they mock.
What do you guys think? Is this busy or what? You know where I'm at? I'm at the main train station. You know, Union Station's in back of me too, so. I mean, it's got some people walking. You can say it's cold, but I don't think it's busy. I mean, you can count the cars, right? It's not. So, the mayor can complain all he wants about federal funding, but it's what we talked about yesterday when we showed you the guys waiting to get free food and free bedding at the church. Always complaining that you're not getting money from somebody is a leech. That's a leech. It's a leech. And I don't know who he learned that from. His dad had 2 jobs. His dad was a preacher. Brandon Johnson's dad was a preacher, and he was a carpenter, suppose. So he sounded like he hustled, I guess. So where did Brandon Johnson learn to be a leech? Always asking for somebody else's money. He never says, think about this. You might hate Rahm Emanuel, but Rahm Emanuel was a worker. You can call him ballerina and all this stuff, funny stuff. He worked since he was 12 years old. That's how he cut his finger. Everybody knows that. He worked in a butcher shop or something like that, and he cut his finger, right? So he harmed himself while he was earning money because his old man told him, you need to bust your ass, kid. There ain't no freebies in this household like my dad. He said, you don't get to sleep here for free. I used to pay my dad rent. That's how it was. So how did Brandon Johnson become a leech? A leech that says, you owe me money. A leech that gives $20 million to a family, or wants to give $20 million to a family of a criminal. A criminal, right? Right? That wants to give money to other people that were harmed by criminals when the criminal gets off. Where did the leech learn to be a leech? We have to identify that, right? We need to go. I just seen a good video yesterday, Nuremberg. Watch it. It's okay. It's not the best. It's okay. It could have been better. It was okay. That's all I gotta say. I wouldn't give it 5 stars. I'd give it 3.5. But it's a good movie to watch about. It didn't even go deep into psychology, I didn't think. So that's kind of was the letdown. It starts off on some things, but it's a good movie to watch. And the reason I say now to watch it is because you got to watch it, because then you can say, yeah, why do people do things? Why is Brandon Johnson a leech? He just said it again. He can't cut my money off. What? What are you saying? And then the governor, oh yeah, it's going to cause trouble. Well, yeah, sanctuary cities. How many people have been killed by migrants in Chicago alone? At least 5 that I know of. At least 5. At least 5 in Chicago. In Chicago, not through the state, in Chicago. So sanctuary policies have harmed us. And that's what Trump said. He goes, I'm cutting off your money because you're a sanctuary city, because you promote criminality. You protect people who cross our borders illegally. And then when we ask you for a retainer, right, we get the immigration thing. But then A sanctuary city says we're not going to give up the criminals. Homeland Security ain't looking for everybody. They're looking for the bad guys. And the city don't want to give them up. See, that's the problem. They lie. They're leeches. They're crooks. Give up the criminals. Who cares? They're illegals, man. They ain't got no rights in our country. Give them up. Give them up. Like Janulius just said, well, I'm going to go after the ICE agents that have these illegal plates, right? Think about it. You know how many illegals got licenses? We got videos. We got hours of videos. We got hours of videos of illegals with cars, plates, driving around. Johnny Boom Boom, he said, yeah, an illegal crashed me. He had no insurance. He had no plates. He didn't have a license, and he crashed into me. Well, how are these guys getting these cars in these temp tags? Janulius says he's going after ICE agents rather than going after illegals that drive our cars, right? In our state. You got how these guys are. They're criminals, man. Janulius, yeah, he might have worked a little bit. He's Greek. He was hooked up with the Greek mob. Everybody knows that. But Brandon Johnson, man, that dude's a straight leech, man. That dude, I don't know where he learned that stuff, man. That dude learned some bad habits from somebody, and I don't know who he did them. Maybe one day I'll figure it out. Maybe I won't. I really don't care, man. I do this as a reporter, you know. And that's why I tell you, look at Nuremberg, that movie that just came. It talks about why these Nazis were killing people. He tried to figure that out. They didn't really answer that question, which is bad for the movie. But it was, yeah. The Nuremberg movie could have been a lot better. I don't think it's going to win an award. It might, but it shouldn't win any awards. But the idea is why do certain people do certain things, right? Why does Brandon Johnson call himself a progressive when he's not a progressive, right? Why? You just heard a story on a North Side neighborhood. They just redid some streets, and they said they didn't listen to us. Think about it. The platform of the progressives is what? People power. Power to the people. Fist up, right? Everybody knows that? That's what these guys are. Power to the people. Fist up. I always make that joke of Robin Power. Robin Potter, the mom of the vice president of the teachers union, she ripped off black teachers for $4 million. $4 million smacks. She ripped them off. $4 million ripped off black teachers. These teachers, poor teachers, lost their jobs. She gets $4 million. You know what? The teachers got like about $10,000 each. You're talking about 30 years of work. Illegally fired. They all got 10 grand each, but the lawyer got $4 million. Power to the people. That's why I say that. Power to the people. You just heard this lawsuit filed by the Northsiders said, yeah, we had some hearings on redoing our streets and everything up here, but they didn't listen to us. They did it without our buy-in. So these are fake leeches who steal our money. They don't plow our streets. They don't salt our streets. Right? There's some people now. That's why I'm staying here, right? It's 5:20. There's some people walking around. I mean, it's okay, but this is not the third largest city traffic, is it? I mean, that's why I'm sitting here for a little while. So we can see what's going on here, right? I'm sitting here on purpose, by the way. So it's called a time study, right? Yeah, I'm sitting here on purpose in this intersection. Because this is one of the main intersections used to be, right? Then we're gonna get out of here. I got movie night tonight with my kids, so we'll go here. We might go somewhere else. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I'll maybe start listening to some radio calls, see what we're missing on crime, right? Oh, big story I didn't talk about because it's my story. The covering up of a CTA shooting. That one from yesterday. See, that's why it's important, and I know people are busy. Our live feeds have information on them. So yesterday's So yesterday's big story was, right, there's a shooting at the CTA Green Line, and the Chicago Police Department said it didn't happen at the Green Line, right? It happened on 54th and Prairie, a block away. Actually a block and a half away. Alrighty, where we gonna, you want to get going here? Yeah, there's a lot of videos on the ice here. There's traffic. Yeah, there's crashes all over the city right now. I'm watching some other videos from other people. It's bad. Alright, you ready to go? Let's do some radio. Let's do some radio calls. Let's see where I'm at on the radio calls. We'll go about right here, and then we'll get going again, huh?
78 to David. Can I get a VIN number, upper and lower, Chicago red line, please? Yeah, 08949 and 08951.
738 to David.
78 to David.
David.
78 to David.
Social number.
83 David, they were 08949 and 08951.
7383 George.
78 George.
May I have two numbers for cars and division, upper and lower, please?
08991 and 08993. 3212. 3212.
Yes, so is there a ETA for the reload?
Let me give him a call here, see what's going on. 3212, he is driving there as we speak.
Night, man. 6595 Charlie.
6595 Charlie. 6595 Charlie.
I grab an ID 45114, please.
Absolutely. John King 115445. 115445. And same event number 08921.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
387 Charlie.
787 Charlie.
Folks on this check at Blue Line of the Montrose.
It is 09042. .2212 units and 22 in units on citywide assessment progress. 11833 Southwestern at the Walgreens. 11833 Southwestern, female black, about 20-year-old wearing a black coat, burgundy joggers, black books, blue head wrap, and a book bag. Female black inside wearing in the Walgreens, shoplifting, nothing further. Zone 9.
212.
3212.
Show me relocating one female to 3100 South Lakeshore Drive, starting mileage 24815.
Ready, 1653 on the clock. Alright, if anyone's in the area, Pulaski and the Green Line and Pulaski got an overdose on the mezzanine side. They have already given Narcan, fires rolling, nothing further. 7393 David, good.
Pulaski Green Line overdose. Pulaski Green Line overdose. Just heard it, right? The president didn't cut no money off. Where's the money to help that overdose dude out? There ain't none, right? They're giving him Narcan. That's what they're doing. You get it? They lie about everything. That's what the president is saying. Again, I don't agree with everything the president does, but he's like, yeah, you ain't doing nothing. Look, you just had an overdose on your train system. So first of all, some dudes don't care about our system and go and do drugs on our public transportation system. So that's a problem. That's the criminal justice system, meaning there's no consequences. That's number one. Secondly, the man or woman, right, is that criminally intentional that he doesn't care what he has on him and does it during rush hour while there's a lot of people on and kids. Lastly, where's the intervention people? There is none. Where's the CTA? Where's anybody? Where's anybody stopping this drug addict from doing drugs on our trains? There is none. So Brandon Johnson, the leech, the blowjob leech, he does blowjobs and doesn't get money. That's why he keeps saying, I need more money, right? He's a blowjob, BJ, right? BJ the leech. Says, I need more money, yet he's not doing the job he should be doing. We just had an overdose on the Pulaski Green Line. How does that happen? How does someone feel they can do drugs on our transportation system? Well, easily. They know they're not going to get arrested. They know there's no consequences. There's no treatment. There's no nobody. So he or she does whatever he wants. You just heard it, right? I mean, I'm not making that up. You just heard it on the radio, right? I don't track that stuff, right? But you heard it for yourself right here, right? So we're going to do the evening news. Why not? 5:30, right? And then we'll go back to our radio calls, right? To see what's going on. Sometimes they add something on again. We'll see.
It's 5:30. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Fielding. Here are the top stories on News Radio WBBM.
This is Carolina Garibay. Lawmakers in Illinois and across the country push to impeach Christy Nome.
The Chicago law firm announces it will handle the civil probe into the shooting death of Renee Good by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. If you're still in need of a real ID, state and city leaders want to make it a little easier for you to get one soon. And President Trump claims the killing of Iranian protesters have stopped, even as the country's government signals executions are ahead. In sports, Bulls taking on the Jazz at home in business.
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. Down arrows again on Wall Street. The Dow today down 42 points. The Nasdaq down 238. The S&P down by 37.
We've got 19 degrees, cloudy skies. The news continues now at 5:31. Dozens of Democratic lawmakers are filing articles of impeachment against Christy Nome. WBBM's Carolina Garibay tells us that an Illinois congresswoman is behind the move.
Representative Robin Kelly has formally introduced articles of impeachment against U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Christy Nome. Kelly says she has the backing of 70 members of Congress.
Secretary Nome has brought her reign of terror to the Chicagoland area, L.A., New Orleans, Charlotte, Durham, and communities north to south to east to west. She needs to be held accountable for her actions.
Kelly, who is running to replace retiring Senator Dick Durbin, says she's introducing 3 articles of impeachment against Nome.
Number 1, obstruction of Congress. Secretary Nome has denied me and other members of Congress oversight of ICE detention facilities. Number 2, violation of public trust. Number 3 is self-dealing. Secretary Nome has abused her power for personal benefit.
A statement from the Department of Homeland Security calls Kelly's impeachment efforts, quote, silly, and says that ICE officers are facing a, quote, 1,300% increase in assaults against them. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Chicago law firm announcing a civil investigation into last week's shooting death of a woman in Minneapolis by an ICE officer.
Chicago-based law firm Romanucci & Blandon is teaming up with a Minneapolis law firm to represent Becca Good, the partner of Renee Good, and other members of Renee Good's family. The legal team calls this a case of national importance in need of transparency and notes that since this is a federal case, it would eventually be argued in front of a judge, not a jury. 37-year-old Renee Good was a mother of 3. She was shot and killed in Minneapolis by an ICE officer after taking one of her kids to school. Romanucci and Blandon also released a statement from Renee Good's family thanking people for their support and asking for privacy. Terry Keshner, 105.
So they show. She wasn't dropping her kid off. She was there to interrupt ICE. The wife said it. Her wife said we were there to interrupt ICE. So they lied on the news channel. WBBM just lied to you. They lied. The wife of Renee Good said we were there to disrupt ICE. They weren't there dropping out. Sorry about the live feed going out. I apologize for that. So here, I was just saying about Renee Good, the lady that was shot. Her own partner said they were there to disrupt ICE. So we had WBBM lie on the radio. They lied. WBBM just lied. They repeated somebody's lie rather than fact checking. The wife said we were there to disrupt ICE. And this is some more of the news.
Payments of fees for probation, supervision, and community service ordered by the court after a conviction or guilty plea. The chief judge's office says it found a technical problem had prevented some refunds from being generated. The office did not share how much money was involved, but said it was a limited number of cases and that the county has issued refund checks. Chief Judge Charles Beach II says the glitch was discovered as part of a review of non-judicial departments he's ordered since he was sworn in last month. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
5:34 now to the latest out of Iran. New information coming out on the number of people who may have been killed in the anti-government protest there. Two sources, one inside Iran, tells CBS News the number could be as high as 12,000. It comes as President Trump says he's been told on good authority that plans for executions in Iran have stopped, even as Iran's capital has signaled fast trials and executions ahead in its crackdown on protesters. Now to Greenland. High-level talks at the White House on the future of Greenland ended today with no resolution. Here's CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Denmark's foreign minister says a fundamental disagreement remains, but the two sides have agreed to create a working group to discuss ways around their differences.
Whether that is doable, I don't know. I hope, and I would like to express that it could take, down the temperature.
Meanwhile, European countries like France and Germany said today they're sending troops to Greenland to support Denmark in securing the region.
Following the meeting, Denmark's foreign minister tells reporters that it's clear that the president has this wish of conquering Greenland. In response, the president, Trump, said he still believes the U.S. needs to have the territory for its national security, but he thinks something will eventually work out. Well, even though we're in the height of winter, excessively hot weather is becoming the new norm.
Global temperatures continue to soar. Samantha Burgess is with Copernicus, the European Union's climate change monitoring service.
2025 was the third warmest year on record after 2024 and 2023. We've seen exceptional heat both in air, land, and ocean temperatures.
The finding comes as the Trump administration reverses rules and regulations meant to lower carbon pollution and withdraws from international climate treaties. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Advent is now accepting new patients at 8 Chicagoland area locations. AdventKnows.com.
Marietta just said, what's the point in lying? All my articles this week is, why does the government lie? The wife said it. We were there to disrupt ICE. The videos all showed they were there to mess with ICE. Whether she drove off or not drove off might be some contention in the court case. But the officers were clear. Stop and get out of your car. So she disobeyed the officer's orders, right? Yeah, I don't know. Her case is going to be a bad case, I think. And in Minneapolis, you're allowed to use deadly force. So she disobeyed orders and then she drove forward. Whether she had her wheel turned one way or another doesn't matter. You can't just run away from a cop with a car and then hit him or not hit him, whatever. We just heard he was in the thing. But here, forget all of that. That's for a judge and a jury to decide. We're not judge and jury, right? We can talk about it. But here's the point. Why would you lie about it? Why would WBBM repeat a lie? Repeat a lie that her own wife said what happened. The wife's on video, says, oh, big boy, remember the video? There's a video of the wife, oh, big boy. So she's videotaping ICE agents. They weren't dropping kids off. The wife was outside of the car videotaping them. If you were dropping kids off, you were dropping kids off. Why are you videotaping ICE agents? So that's a problem we have with the news. When the news repeats the lies, now we have a problem. Now, did they make a mistake? Did they repeat something they shouldn't have? Then they should correct it. But when When the news media that has a reach of millions of people repeats lies, that's what's bad. That's what I wanted to say there.
Stop and go from I-55.
They do it here. Why do they do it? They do it on purpose because they can get away with it. They can get away with it. They do it on purpose. No one checks them. We were just talking about another reporter, Sarah Karp, the BBZ, who lies for the union. I don't know why she lies for the union. Does she think she's going to get something from the union? I don't know. I have no idea. We might go up a little bit on Madison. We'll do Madison. We might come back on 5th, and then I got to go do my movie night tonight, right? So that's what we're going to do right now. I don't know why people lie. I make mistakes. I don't lie. I make mistakes because I'm on the scene. I don't have a reason to lie, right? I don't have a reason to say she was a lesbian or not lesbian, or she was Antifa or not Antifa, right? I say my viewpoint and that's it. If I make a mistake, I try to correct it. I do. I correct some stories here and there, or missing persons updates and stuff. I've corrected a couple of stories, but that's it. But if someone says something, I say, and that's my reporting. This person said it, right? If the Homeland Security says they're a criminal, and then I get another video from someone who says he wasn't a criminal, guess what? Those are two separate stories. They're two separate stories.
Route 53 in the northwest suburbs.
Did you hear me? There was something about a guy, he was called a rapist, and it was the wrong guy, they said. Same thing in a shooting in Pilsen, I think, with Homeland Security. And then I think I corrected one story. The second time I said, oh, this is what they said and this is what they said. So that's what we are. We're an independent news agency. We do whatever we want to, right? We report what we hear. Look, I'll tell you this. I sent an email to Chicago Police Department last night saying, what'd you do with this story? Why did you say it was on 54th and Prairie? Guess what? They ignored me. They ignored me. They ignored me for 3 years. I don't bother with them. They're ignorant. They're ignorant people at the Chicago Police Department administration. They lie for the mayor. Got that?
22 Palatino Air 19.
And whoever's the mayor, they'll lie for him. That's the point.
It's 5:40. Well, you may see some familiar names popping up at Chicago's airports under a new effort by the city to raise some money.
By now, we're all used to seeing games and concerts at the United Center, Wintrust Arena, Rate Field, the Huntington Bank Pavilion, and one day people passing through O'Hare and Midway may need to look for the McDonald's lot or the AbbVie elevators. The city's formally asking business leaders and marketing experts for information about sponsorship opportunities at Chicago's two airports. Mayor Brandon Johnson says it makes sense and could make dollars.
More and more people are coming through our airports. More people are traveling to the city of Chicago. This is an opportunity for, entities to take advantage of that.
The city says it's open to selling naming rights for everything from parking lots to restrooms to EV charging stations. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
Car mechanics in Denver are busier than usual after hundreds of drivers apparently pumped diesel fuel into their tanks instead of regular gas.
A shipment of diesel fuel was mistakenly sold to gas stations as regular unleaded gas. Cars that got the diesel instead of regular unleaded are going to need repairs costing thousands of dollars. Mechanic Adam Sevilla.
For some cars, they run really rough. Some cars don't have great acceleration. Some cars don't even run at all. They'll die and they won't restart.
State Consumer Affairs officials are telling drivers to demand reimbursement from the gas stations where they fueled up, because in many cases, insurance won't cover the cost of those repairs. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
At the editor's desk today, Patrick Rushman and later Grace Goliambieski and Mallory Vorbroker. Our writer is Cecilia Fragakis. Assistant producers George Ayub and Tamia Wilson. Traffic producer and Tom Peters. And our broadcast managing editor is Zach Weber. It's 5:42.
It's playoff time for our team, and the Gridiron Report is supersized analysis of what just happened and what to expect for the next playoff test. Monday mornings at 6:45.
So my answer to everybody, Ms. Zidore and Marietta, is I don't know why they lie. Is it a mistake? Is it an editorial thing? But, I'm driving in my car, live feeding my stuff, doing live video, checking what I have on my thing, listening to news, and trying to do my best. So if I could do it by myself in my car and try to correct and get you guys the best news I can, right? Then why isn't some $1 million operation WBM doing it? Why aren't they doing it? Why ain't Channel 7? Why ain't Sarah Karp, who gets a couple $100,000 a year, has an office, has internet? You know, I pay for all my own stuff. I pay for my own internet. I pay for my own phone charges. I pay for my own software to help me translate the stuff, to download it. I pay for everything you see posted I pay for it. I get some money from ads from Facebook and Twitter, but it barely covers my costs every month. It barely does. If my car breaks down, I'm out. I'm minus that month, right? I just put my car in for repairs. I mean, that was about $800 or $900. Tomorrow I have to take my car in for repairs. By the way, I have a big thing coming up. I do every year, Snowmageddon, MLK weekend. I've been doing it. This is the 8th year. So I'll probably be offline all weekend. I might post videos. I don't know if I'll do live stuff. I might do live if it's about weather or some cool things. I think I did it last year. I don't remember. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. It's my off-roading stuff. So I've been doing this for many, many years. It's called Snowmageddon. We go up into the middle of Michigan and we ride in the snow. Some years it's blizzard, whiteout conditions. Some years it's just muddy, right? So, but that's what we do. We're kind of crazy. We like doing it. We like MLK weekend. We think about all of us getting together and enjoying nature, right? And not worrying about politics, policies, and religion, right? We enjoy it, and we think it's a good time to remember what Martin Luther King Jr. gave us. He taught us, and I believe this, Martin Luther King Jr. taught us that we need to stick together. When they separate us, whatever it is, by race, by class, by sex, by gender, whatever you call it, right? That's why I always say about these progressives. They're not progressives. They're fake rip-off leeches. They're leeches, right? They're leeches. They're liberal leeches. When you create classifications like they just did, LGBTQs and all of this stuff, you're separating people. Why do you separate them? Because you want to control them. What did those people on the north side say about that lawsuit? They came in and had us put little sticky notes on papers. You know that's a high school activity. Anybody ever do that one? I've done it. That's 20 years ago stuff. You get these big sheets, you put them on the walls, you put ideas, then you put sticky notes. That's not consensus building. That's ripping you off. Yeah, that's what the mayor's office is doing. I'm gonna have to download that story. I like that story. See, so in one respect, BBM repeated a lie, but in another respect, give us some news. So how do we balance all of that, right? How do we balance what we need? Well, this is the way I always say about news. You gotta get news from everywhere. Don't just get SubX.News. You gotta get Chi-Town, you gotta get Critter, you gotta get WBBM, you gotta get CNN, you gotta get Fox News. I don't even know where Fox News is. Now it's News Nations. It's weird. But whatever. But my thing always is about the news, and I said this story a few times already. We have to have more news, not less news. More, not less. You need left wing, you need communists, you need socialists, you need Tea Party, you need MAGA, you need MAGA Texas, you need MAGA Louisiana, you need Antifa California, whatever. I don't care. Why? Because all of those have a different viewpoint and they see everything. But guess what? Guess what? If you have Antifa, MAGA, and you have the Attorney General, all three of them, they all were at a riot. Guess what? You know one thing. There was a riot that day. Or there was a fight that day. So you know there was a fact. For a fact, something happened. You see what I'm talking about, media? Every media has bias. But there's always a fact inside of the bias. So the more media we have, the more facts we can have. And the more opportunity we have to come to the truth or to come to our understanding of the truth. Because truth is biased, right? The fact is a fact. It's night now, right? But you can say, well, it's daytime in Antarctica, John, so it's not really night. Well, it's nighttime in Chicago, right? Well, it's not blah, blah. And then people will make these arguments. But the point I'm trying to make here is we need more news. Look at that. They have the drug tents out here. See that there? Right there. Those are. Let me show you this one. Those are drug tents, right? Look at that. They're drug tents. Yeah, right? Those are drug tents. Got that? They sell drugs and hookers and all that out of those tents. See that there? Oh, yeah, I got my truck today. Yeah, I can do certain things today. Those are drug tents there. They sell drugs, they do drugs, and they do porno, and they do prostitution in those places. There's no reason to have a tent there. Trust me. Why would you want to live right next to a train station unless you were doing something, right? That it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. So again, we want more news. We want different types of news. I want extreme news because, so you know what? Some of the best reporting on riots, some of the best reporting. Where was the best? What did I want to just talk about? Oh, I don't know which one it was. Was it the Floyd riots? Some of the best reporting on the Floyd riots came from the ultra left. Some of the best migrant reporting came from the ultra left. Why? Because they don't like militarization. So they would show what was happening and say there's cops here, there's military here, or this contractor is doing this. Some of the best government corruption reporting is from ultra magas, super magas, like Nick Shirley. I don't like Nick Shirley. I told you I never used to watch Charlie Kirk. I don't think I've ever watched Charlie Kirk. I think I watched one of his videos. That's it. I don't want to listen to that guy. I don't like the way he talks. I don't think what happened to him should have happened to him, and that person should be executed. The person who did that to Charlie Kirk should be executed in public, quick. And people who agree that whatever happened to Charlie Kirk was good, they should be somehow punished if you have some kind of government job. That's my belief. I never listened to Charlie Kirk, and I don't listen to Charlie Kirk. I don't listen to Nick Shirley. I don't. I really don't. I don't. I think Charlie Kirk, I watched one video. Nick Shirley, I might have watched a couple of them. But I'll tell you this, they have some really good anti-government corruption reporting, because that's what they're about. Do you get what I'm saying here? I don't agree with them, but I listen to them or I watch them because it gives me a different perspective, because they look at it from a different angle. Same thing with Antifa. Same thing with communists. Same thing with socialists. Same thing with Iran. Iran is a theology, right? It's a theocracy. They report on news a certain way. So yeah, I watch Arabian news. I don't know how I translate it. I think they translate it through a software. But you kind of get where I'm saying like that? Now, that's my job. I'm a news guy. But what I'm trying to say with what I'm saying here, we need more news, not less news. That's what I'm trying to get to here, right? Where is Madison? I don't know where I'm at. Did I miss Madison? Oh, I'm on Lake Street, right? Okay, I'm jibber-jabbering. I'm jibber-jabbering, and I just keep going. Why don't we listen to some radio calls, okay? Because that's too much jibber-jabbering for me. That's my idea on news, and why people lie, I don't know why they lie. That WBBM story needs to be corrected. That's a bad one there. That's a lie, because the wife said it was not what they were doing, so. Let's listen to some radio calls, right? Now, where are they at? I gotta find them now, right? No. Okay, so now I have to go all the way here. Yeah, we're on Lake Street. Then we'll come back on Madison. We'll just go to some radio calls. Maybe we'll see something going on, right? Or hear some. We'll go, what is it, 5:50? We'll go back to 5 o'clock maybe. About 50 minutes back. See if we missed a call or something. Remember, yesterday we caught that call at the end of the day. Remember that. Yesterday's call was at the end of the day, and that was big. Hiding a CTA shooting. See, you don't know what you end up on, right? That was a big story yesterday. All right, 5:10. Why don't we start at about 5 o'clock on the radio calls, right? Right about here. Okay, I'm at radio calls.
If anyone's in the area, Pulaski and the Green Line and Pulaski
right
got an overdose on the mezzanine side. They have already given Narcan. Fire's rolling.
That's right here, right?
7393 David, good. Get a cage car to our location. Clark and Lake. Clark and Lake, 10-4. 7383 Frank.
7 minutes, Frank.
Can I get a bus check 79 of Vincennes, bus 1614?
Alrighty, that is 091.
Gonna see if there's anybody out at the park, right?
I think 386 Eddie. 86 Eddie.
Can you do a CT check at Howard, one for the upper, one for the lower?
Yeah, that's 09142 and 09143.
The pond ain't frozen, see that?
95 King.
Oh man, it's icy, man. You gotta be careful.
9 Gauge Firearms Investigation.
Gotta be really careful, it's all ice out here.
West 68th Street.
You don't want to fall in the lagoon.
Ready? Is 09149.
See that? The lagoon ain't frozen. So you can fall into that lagoon right now.
93 David, you have 121 en route for your transport.
Now, I don't want to fall in that lagoon. I shouldn't have been out here, right? This is a mistake. It's pure ice, man.
3212.
3212.
Enigmatic 816. Show me Glenn and Annex to do report.
Right.
Pure ice out here. Beautiful lagoon, man. We'll see it on the way back because it's locked up over here.
Right? That green line class C job, that subject is near the turnstiles.
Alright, tougher.
Looks like he's up and walking.
They shot him with some Narcan. That's 5 o'clock, so we got 50 minutes of radio calls coming up, right?
Marine unit headquarters.
Oh man, they're underwater today. Marine.
We are getting reports for a person in the water at Montrose Beach. Montrose Beach, still getting details to follow.
Might be a surfer.
Good copy. Just want to confirm it's at the beach and not the harbor. Correct. As of this time, they are saying it's the beach.
7383.
7383.
Yeah, can you hold me down doing a clearance check at the Roosevelt Red Line?
Alright, Templar. 09181. Alright, and Marine Unit Headquarters, apparently this was a surfer. He's now on the south side of the pier, about 20 to 50 feet out from the pier.
And there he is, a surfer.
Copy. That was going to be my next question. Do we have the caller's phone number?
We do, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, we do. Should be on the box. It's the one ending in 6801. 10-4, thank you.
We're at Garfield Park.
Item Marine Distress, Montrose Beach. It says the male was surfing, now on the south side of the pier, about 20 to 50 feet from the pier. He's in the water. Montrose and Foster, surfer, male, wearing a black suit, 19th District.
He's alright. He's surfing, man. Why are you bothering the man, right?
595 King.
695 King.
Blanket RD45114.
Absolutely. John King, 115493. 115493. And event number 09149. 09149.
David.
7 David.
Ever need anybody assigned for your transport?
Yeah, 121 is on the way.
I'm getting my jacket from the back seat.
786 Adam.
Number Jackson Red Line, please. For lower.
Yeah, take.
Gotta take a cough drop from my throat.
And 09246.
7387.
7387.
We'll do the 6 o'clock news then, maybe.
Loading Square Blue Line.
Okay, that is 09260.
7383 Charlie.
78 Charlie.
Personal 6 District.
Alright, over. 09266.
7303.
7303, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Squad. Can we get event number minor disturbance at the Orange Line Midway Station on the platform? It's going to be a 5 call.
Alright, 09282. 09282.
10-4. 7383.
793.
Have an 83 David and 83 Eddie meet me right here at the Roosevelt Red.
Alright, over 7383 David. 7383 David.
3 David. On that.
Nah, looking for 7383 David. 7383 David. Okay, how about 7383 Eddie? 7383 Eddie.
Probably forgot their call sign, squad. They should be at both though.
Alright. 7383, I cannot get a hold of either one of them.
Alright. Let me call the airbase.
Alright, 10-4, sir.
6570 Paul.
6570 Paul.
Good evening, squad. Can I get a firearm investigation at 58 West 79th Street? Can I get a 5114 on it, please?
Alright, John King, 115515. 115515. And event number 09304. 09304.
10-4, thank you.
You're welcome.
333 Eddie, David, you calling us?
Yeah, stand by for a phone call for 7383. Just wanted to meet with you guys at Roosevelt.
10-4, sorry, it's not up downstairs.
Talk.
7383 Adam, would you mind giving me another couple numbers, upper and lower, 95th red, please?
83 Adam, yeah, it's 09325 and 09327.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, no problem.
7393 Charlotte.
793 Charlie.
01 custody, Clark and Lake. You get another transport.
That train is empty, man. There ain't nobody on that train. It's empty. At 6 o'clock, we're gonna listen to the news, and then we'll go back to the radio calls.
767.
Clark, I get two event numbers, upper and lower, Chicago Red Rock.
I'll pause that, and then we're gonna go hit some radio calls. I mean, news. 6 o'clock news. WBBM. Beautiful lagoon out here.
There is the assessment from many regional allies that the regime has begun to really reestablish control. In other words, really through violence, reestablish control over the protesters. Does that mean the movement and the protests have completely stopped? That's something only time will tell.
Look.
Senate Republicans have voted to dismiss a war powers resolution that would have limited President Trump's ability to conduct further attacks on Venezuela. Two GOP senators, Josh Hawley of Missouri and Todd Young of Indiana, under pressure by the president, reversed course on supporting the legislation. The final tally was 50-50, so Vice President Vance cast the deciding vote and the measure died. Denmark Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen says, after meeting with U.S. officials, that when it comes to the U.S. getting Greenland,
We therefore still have a fundamental disagreement, but we also agree to disagree. And therefore we will, however, continue to talk. We have decided to form a high-level working group to explore if we can find a common way forward.
President Trump says that Greenland is essential for U.S. national security. In Congress, GOP Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky says,
And I've yet to hear from this administration a single thing we need from Greenland that the sovereign people is not ready and willing to grant us.
Several lawmakers on Capitol Hill are calling for the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Christy Nome over increasingly violent interactions with ICE in cities including Minneapolis. CBS's Allison Keyes explains.
Democratic Illinois Representative Robin Kelly has introduced 3 articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Christy Nome, saying Nome has brought her reign of terror from Chicagoland to L.A. to Minneapolis.
She needs to be held accountable for her actions.
Complaints against Nome have escalated since the ICE killing of a Minneapolis woman, but Nome says the woman committed
an act of domestic terrorism.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
They should have remained on the International Space Station until late February.
Undocking Dragon SpaceX separation confirmed. Dragon SpaceX separation confirmed.
But NASA cut short the mission of 4 astronauts, so one of them, who has not been identified, can be treated by doctors. It's the first medical evacuation by NASA in 65 years of human spaceflight. 2025 U.S. home sales were stuck at a 30-year low. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey.
So they're doing, everybody, why they're doing that Homeland Security impeachment? It's because the election is coming up, right? That's why they're doing that stuff. 2026 our election. There were midterms. Everybody knows what midterms is. It's the 2-year representative elections, right? For mostly representatives. I think we have some other elections. Our elections in Chicago are 27 for the mayoral election. This is the last year, right? Everybody knows that. This is the mayor's last year, right? This is his third year, right? He's in power, right? He gets an election in 27, right? Everybody knows that or not? Yeah, he's been in power that long already. So him complaining and making excuses is, yeah, it's kind of a lie. You kind of get it? So he's been in power. He should have his own money. But he doesn't. And he keeps blaming Trump when that's not an excuse, you know what I mean, anymore.
Lucky puppies in rural Washington state are doing just fine after being revived from a suspected fentanyl overdose. CBS's Allison Keyes. 2 people dropped off 3 sick puppies at Sky Valley Fire, about an hour from Seattle, where Battalion Chief Brandon Vargas says they were in dire straits.
The initial 3 were unresponsive, so they were just limp, barely breathing.
But firefighters treated them with naloxone, oxygen, and CPR, and they revived. Sheriff's deputies tracked down the people who dropped them off and found 3 more sick puppies. All 6 are fine now and will be up for adoption soon. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Shoppers increased their spending in November from October as holiday shopping kicked into full gear. The Commerce Department reports that retail sales rose a better than expected 0.6% in November, following a revised 0.1% decline in October. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
6:05. It is Wednesday, the 14th day of January. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have 20 degrees.
Is this the overdose here? Yeah, right? Pulaski Green Line overdose, the dope spot, right?
Along the lakefront in northwest Indiana. We're going to have the AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up for you at 6:15. But first, a top Illinois official says he expects the courts will block President Trump's latest effort to keep federal money from Chicago and other so-called sanctuary cities. WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz reports that Mayor Brandon Johnson touched on the situation today.
He can't do that.
That's the mayor's assessment of the latest pledge from the president to cut off federal money starting February 1st for Chicago and other areas with so-called welcoming policies for immigrant communities. He says the city has already gone to court to fight numerous other attempts to claw back federal funding for everything from public health to transportation, and they're ready to do it again.
I'm confident that, as the courts have done before,
SubX.News on the spot reporting 6:05 p.m. Pulaski and Lake Street. This is an overdose. You have ambulance 10. You have a squad car here. This is a known drug dealing area here. Somebody overdosed up there on the platform. Again, this is an overdose. This is a regular spot. They sell drugs here all around it. There's always overdoses in this area. So that's what you're showing. That's what you're seeing here. This is Lake Street and Pulaski. SubX.News, 6:06 p.m., January 14, 2026, west side of Chicago, overdose. We heard that they gave the person Narcan and they're up and about. So,
prior governor had been doing the things that Donald Trump is now doing, taking away the vital services that people need to survive, to thrive, right? It's healthcare, and mental health care is healthcare. And so is substance use treatment.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin also blasted the cuts, saying in a statement that the Trump administration is, quote, more interested in building White House ballrooms than life-saving clinics. WBBM has contacted the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration for comment. Terry Keshner, 105.9 WBBM.
It is 6:08. Time to check in on traffic. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. Here's Abby Ryan.
Right now, Lisa, Eden's on the outbound side, clear inbound.
So, what we do at SubX.News, we're independent street reporters, guerrilla reporting, that's what we call us. And we report what we see. This is a drug spot. So we just had a squad car with 2 police officers here. We had an ambulance here. Cost a whole bunch of money. And we had the governor on the radio saying, You can't cut our funding for mental health and substance abuse, but yet you just seen a drug overdose on a public transportation system Green Line. Yesterday there was a shooting on the Green Line down on 55th Street. So our government got money, but they lie because where's the money at? Where was the prevention for this? There was none. There is none. See, the police, they just left. This dude's selling drugs around here. I bet you if I drive around in a few seconds, I can find you the drug dealer. But I'm not interested in that, right? I've been threatened by drug dealers to be killed in all this. But that's what the type of reporting we do here at SubX.News. This, what you witnessed right here, is government corruption. Because there's people who are paid to take care of this problem. Yet instead they send the police in an ambulance afterwards. There is no prevention. There is no incarceration. There is no rehabilitation. There is no anti-drug education. There's harm reduction, which gives drug pipes, gives drug needles. We have a video from a guy in San Francisco we're going to post up on SubX.News. He just posted, they're actually selling drugs right inside the same place they're giving out the harm reduction needles and pipes. He just has the video. I'm going to get it up. He does a lot of reporting out of San Francisco. So these are very, very dangerous individuals, these government employees and NGOs who give drugs, give pipes, give needles to people, and then they overdose on the train. What you didn't hear on Citizen, there was a report right on the radio. There was 3 puppies in a state, and I'll try to get the story for everybody. Look it up. They got puppies overdose on fentanyl. So you have people who don't care about anything. They're doing fentanyls, and 3 puppies were dropped off at the fire department or something like that, and they had to have been treated for fentanyl overdose. Well, think about a drug addict on a CTA train who just overdosed. He had fentanyl, she had fentanyl. They had drugs on them. And now they're spreading those drugs on our transportation system. Yet the government allows it. Yet the government in Chicago and Illinois blames Trump rather than stopping it. That's what you just seen here in Chicago. SubX.News. Green Line Pulaski overdose. It was allowed to happen. It wasn't stopped ahead of time. And those of you guys watching on Twitter or on Facebook, you know I've been on the Pulaski stop all the time, right?
To put more affordable housing. The city says it does not comment on any pending litigation. A Chicago nurse is facing criminal charges.
52-year-old Sharon Christine Sackman, who now lives in Mexico, is charged with distributing misbranded drugs and dispensing counterfeit drugs.
Overdose, Green Line Pulaski on Lake Street.
Behind bars. Prosecutors say in 2023, while working as a registered nurse in Chicago, Sackman gave 3 people pills that she claimed were popular weight loss drug Ozempic. In reality, authorities say the drugs were fake. Sackman has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A high school student is sharing a racist letter he received from a classmate in Chesterton, Indiana.
The student is 16. He said the letter wasn't just offensive, it was sickening. Julian Blevins said he's sharing his story publicly because silence protects the problem.
Freedom of speech exists for moments like this. It's about integrity. And if you aren't being true to yourself, then you stand for nothing.
Blevins said he reported the letter to the administration, and he asked his teacher if she knew it was written in her classroom. For that, he said he was suspended for 2 days. The president of the town council, Aaron Collins, addressed the issue.
Words matter, and when harmful behavior is minimized or left unchallenged, it grows.
She said this is a moment that calls on all of us to talk with our children about racism. Blevins said he is not going to be silent. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Time Out Market Chicago announcing that its last day of operations in the city will be next week. For over 5 years, the food hall in Fulton Market has showcased the city's extraordinary chefs, bartenders, creators, and cultural voices from around the globe. It's not a total goodbye, though, since its well-known digital media brand Time Out Chicago will stay put and continue to highlight Chicago as one of the world's great food cities. Time Out Market, Chicago's last day will be Friday, January 23rd. Snow in northwest Indiana and colder by the weekend. The 5-day AccuWeather forecast is next.
Chicago isn't just a city, it's a stage. From the latest theater premieres and music festivals to food that defines our neighborhoods and art that inspires the world.
So the famous Fulton Market, something just happened. They just shutting down a restaurant there, a food hall. So they can't even support their own little gentrification schemes, right? You just heard it. Luckily, we heard that one. That's a brand new one on that for me, right? That's not good. So we have overdoses on our CTA. We have the police that are covering up crime on our CTA, and then we have what? Businesses that are failing, right? I'll probably go a little bit here. I'll do a little U-turn, and we're gonna go down Cicero. Maybe we'll hit. Might hit Madison still today. We'll see.
On ZipRecruiter, get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
6:15. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast now sponsored by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning.
That's on some radio calls that we missed, right? There we go.
Plus, I did launch 7004 West Higgins. 7004 West Higgins? 74. 10,000. 7004 West Higgins. Your VIN number is 10,000. Oh, okay. Thanks, Squad. You're welcome. I just said 10000, but 10,000 just seemed like it was easier. Sounds better too.
7388 boy. 88 boy. Can I get a phone number for the blue line at Halsted, Car Street 073?
That's pretty cool, right?
10012.
You'll see it. I'm going to post it on the page. The graffiti, right? It's an ambulance in front of us. Let's keep moving. I don't like these side streets. Maybe I'll go down this one here. Oh, Kinsey is a different way. I don't like these side streets here. They're all icy. I don't want to hit. No, there's somebody in the ambulance there. I hope they're okay. It's slippery. I don't want to slip into them. That you see the ice on the road there, right? I don't want to hurt somebody and they're already hurt. You know, you see the ice down there, right? I don't want to get into a car accident with an ambulance. Yeah, I don't want to do that. We're gonna go straight. We ain't going on no side streets around here, man. They see the ice down there? That's dangerous. And you can slip into anybody really quick, you know what I mean? Alright, so where we're at? We're on some radio calls, right? I gotta find those. Every time I go between the two things like news and radio calls, I kick it out. I need to get a gas station too soon. So I think we're at about 6 o'clock or 5:30 maybe. So we'll go to 5:30 radio calls maybe. That's one way, the opposite way, right? And let's go get some radio calls. Maybe we missed something, and maybe we'll get back on track, right?
386 Adam.
786 Adam.
Jackson red line, please, for lower.
Yeah, take 09245.
Wow, one way to opposite way. See that there? Those signs are opposite way. See that there? See that there? It's pretty wild, huh?
Station check at the Lower Square blue line.
Look at the ice down there. See that?
That is
That's pure ice.
09260.
Pure ice down there.
7383 Charlie.
78 Charlie.
If somebody jumps out, I won't stop.
Alright, over. 09266.
7303.
7303, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, squad. Can I get the event number, minor disturbance at the Orange Line Midway Station on the platform? It's going to be a 5 call.
Alright, 09282. 09282.
10-4. 7383.
793.
That's all ice there. See the ice?
83, Eddie, meet me right here at the Roosevelt Red.
That's pure ice on that street. That's pure ice right there. See that there? That's all ice. Now that's concrete. The other stuff. The shiny stuff is ice.
7383 David. 7383 David. Okay, how about 7383 Eddie? 7383 Eddie.
Probably forgot their call sign, squad. They should be at Roosevelt.
Alright. 7383, I cannot get a hold of either one of them.
Alright. Let me call the air.
Alright, 10-4, sir.
6570 Paul.
6570 Paul.
Good evening, squad. Can I get a firearm investigation at 58 West 79th Street? Can I get a 5114 on it, please?
Alrighty, John King, 115515. 115515. And the event number 09304. 09304.
10-4, thank you.
You're welcome.
7383 Eddie, David, you calling us?
Yeah, stand by for a phone call for 7383. He just wanted to meet with you guys at Roosevelt.
10-4, sorry, it's not up downstairs.
Suck.
7383 Adam, would you mind giving me another couple numbers, upper and lower, 95th Red, please?
83 Adam, yeah, it's 09325 and 09327.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, no problem.
7393 Charlie.
793 Charlie.
01 Custody, Clark and Lake. See if we can get another transport over here.
Alright, one in custody, Clark and Lake. It's 17:15 hours. I'll get you an transport.
Clark and Lake, someone's in custody.
7386 David.
786 David.
Clark, I get two event numbers, upper and lower, Chicago Red Line.
Yep, and it's 09.
7383 Frank.
78 Frank.
Can I get a bus check, 79 in Claremont, bus 8710?
Alright, that is 09397.
7386 David.
786 David.
Clark, can you send those event numbers again, please? We didn't get it.
09392 and 09393.
Something's going on in front of us. Dangerous area right here.
7 Adam.
It's really dangerous around here. They machine gunned the guy here, right? You see where that lady is walking? To that ministry's there? They machine gunned a guy to death right on the sidewalk. They shot him as they drove by. They seen him moving. They made a U-turn by that light, came back, got out of the car and machine gunned him right there on the sidewalk. He was with a girl. Right there. Right there.
Also get a event number for a ride mission from O'Hare to Jefferson. Car number 7181.
Alright, that is 09461.
10-4.
Units 1, citywide units begin a person with a gun, 2831 South Clark Street, 2031 South on Clark, and 1405, last name Locke, female, Thomas, is working security, traces the ex-roommate, harassing caller, she has a gun, diagnosed with receiver issues, that's the one, don't worry. So I'm good.
738380.
7380.
This is Whitaker.
Alright, it's 09481 and 09482.
Bringing your headquarters, 1-1.
Ranging headquarters.
Squad, the person was pulled from the water, and he's with fire now.
Alright, 1728 hours.
So that guy needed help, that surfer.
7386 Boy and Charlie.
786 boy.
At least get two numbers for Sergeant Lake, upper and lower.
Yeah, 09501 and 09502.
10-4. 7383 Charlie.
786 Charlie.
Numbers 78 red line.
Yeah, that's 09510, 09511. 7373.
Horrible.
7353 number for Howard Red, upper and lower, please.
Oh, 7353, you got it. That is 09520 and 09522.
Thank
you. You got it.
Frank.
738 Frank.
Yeah, bus check 79 Eggleston, bus number 7957.
Alright, that is 09553.
7383 George.
7383.
Please have two numbers that are clock and division, please.
Yeah, that is 09559, 09561.
Something happened up here.
Hey, Alex, can you pull me up right quick?
I got you.
7387.
737.
Station check, Irving Blue Line.
Yep, that is 09624.
Eddie.
8680.
Can I get a seat safe at Howard, one for the upper, one for lower?
Yeah, 09777, 09778.
7397.
797.
Clearance all from Clark Division.
Alright.
Horrible traffic.
Getting call shots fired, 72nd and low, just says multiple shots. No further, zone 6 for the Oakley.
There's no traffic moving. Green light and there's no traffic moving.
4735.
None.
K9, good evening.
I don't even know what to do right now.
Good evening.
7388 Charlie.
Unbelievable what goes on the west side here. It's horrible.
09852.
This is the definition of dysfunction. You see, we were just in downtown. It's empty. There ain't nobody downtown. We come out here to the west side where it's abandoned and it's weird, right? Where's all this traffic from? What are all these people doing here? Why is it blocked? Why are we moving a block every 5 minutes? Why? Because there's drug dealing or some criminal activity going on in front of us? Most likely. Most likely. Right? That's how it is out here. That's a city that's non-functional, right? This is not dysfunction anymore. This is non-functional, right? We're not working as a city anymore. You see this? Look, what's going on? It's 6:30 p.m. What is this? Who is this? Where's the police at? Aren't you, like, making traffic or something? We see a couple of cops with the drug dopers over there, right? I don't know what's going on. Let's move up here. I don't know what this is about here, right? What is this? What? Oh, the lights out. That's what it is. Traffic's lights out, right? On a main street. But no one's out here. No Office of Emergency Management, no cops or no nothing. So lights out. That's what's going on. See that there? Right. There you go. Lights out at Cicero and Madison. Wild, huh? Traffic light is out at Cicero and Madison, 6:28 p.m., July 14th, 2026. You come out here, it's causing at least a half a mile backup out here. Ridiculous how this city is non-functional anymore. It's non-functional. Forget dysfunction. Just say it's non-functional, right? It doesn't work anymore, right? You got guys dealing with drug, right? You got guys dealing with what? Overdoses. Where's the social workers for the overdoses? There ain't none. That's the point. 3 years in power, the guy doesn't have social workers for overdoses. Got it? Do you get where I'm going with this, right? He's had all this money. CPS money, city money, park district money. He has all of this money, but there's nothing happening. There's nothing being fixed. Instead, what? They're blaming Trump. Like, yeah, Trump ain't got nothing to do with what's happening on the west side, man.
Can I get an email number for the blue line at Halstead, Car Street, 073?
10012. 4734. 4734. Homeland number for the first district, please. 10065.
The 9-0 citywide intersection of shots fired, 3145 South True. The caller heard multiple shots outside. He saw a male unknown running into a house. Caller is unsure if he was involved. I have no further zone 13 seconds. 783 88 boy. 88 boy. Can I get that number for the blue line and Western on the platform?
I'm leaving this overdose on Pulaski and Lake Street. There was no city services here at all. None. All that money we're spending on that weird treatment, not trauma, is not out here. That's a lie. It's just criminal corruption, stealing our tax dollars.
Alright, upper 10149. 10149. Lower 10150. 10150.
See that cop? He should be at that stoplight directing traffic. He's not. Got that?
Texas 10184 and 10186. 7383 Frank.
Let's see if the girls are out. It's pretty cold today.
Get a bus check, 79 Indiana, bus 1274.
It's 10199.
No, there's a lot of cars out here, man. Lots of cars. They just had a shooting out here again, man. Oh yeah, there's a lot of cars out here.
1063.
Where's the city services out here for these girls working?
7383 Adams. 783 Adams.
Yo, would you mind putting us and Boy down at 95th and Point, please, for lunch?
There's a girl right by that truck. You can see her feet right next to that truck there. Hey, that's a ComEd truck. Dude's gonna get a blowjob there, man. There you go, man. ComEd truck getting a blowjob. There we go, man. Did you just see that there? That's a ComEd truck. That chick was at that truck, so that ComEd dude was getting a blowjob. There you go. There's a cop right in front of us. There you go, man. We're gonna see how this works out here, man. See, that ComEd truck was getting a blowjob, man. That's pretty wild, ain't it? We were just out here. We just missed it. I got it on my live feeds. That chick right there just got out of that. There's a ComEd truck right in front of us. See that chick right there? It's a hooker. She just got, see that truck turning there? That's a ComEd truck. She just got out of that truck there, man. So that ComEd truck just got a blowjob, man. Out here on 5th Street, man. That's pretty wild, ain't it? Gotta get your juice somewhere, man. ComEd truck getting a blowjob out here on the west side. Yeah, anything goes, man. And the cop was out here, too. I don't know what they were doing, but it is what it is. See you later. Alright, let's get out of this. We were just out here. We just missed it. I got it on my line. There you go. There you go. That's the ComEd guy, right? ComEd guy was getting a blowjob out here on 5th Avenue. 6:30 p.m. January 14th, 2026. You know, ComEd, man. I ain't bullshitting. That's a ComEd truck right there, man. That's a ComEd truck. There you go, man. SubX.News. You ain't gonna get none of this anywhere else. There you go. ComEd getting a blowjob. What the fuck, man? Jesus Christ, man. We ain't got it. What? Here, I'm an old dude. Maybe I lived a sheltered life. And there's a lot of viewers right now on my page. There's a lot. Did this happen all the time? Am I just seeing this for the first time in my virgin eyes? I guess that's what I'm asking, right? It's like, you're in a ComEd truck, dude, and you're getting a blowjob from a hooker, man. Yeah, I don't think you should be doing that. That ain't too smart, man. And then you got SubX.News running around with his live feed just caught you doing it, man. That's pretty stupid, ain't it? Get your regular car. Get off of work. Get into your regular car, right? And there's a bunch of dudes doing some bullshit over there at the motel. They're gonna go get some gasoline down here. How cheap can we get, right? It's $2.59 there. We're gonna try to get cheaper over there. But you kind of get it. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. None of this. I guess. Am I old? Am I that old? Like, there shouldn't be shootings at school. You shouldn't be overdosing on the train with fentanyl because maybe you're gonna overdose other people, right? Maybe you shouldn't get a blowjob while you're in a ComEd truck. You know what I mean? I don't know. You kind of get what I'm trying to say there? I mean, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So maybe I am old. I don't know. It is what it is. Maybe this is a new generation, right? It is what it is. We're gonna go get gas, and then we're gonna call it a night. Because we're going to go do some movie night with my kid. Tomorrow I gotta do some work on my car in the daytime. Gotta watch so I don't get into a car accident here, right?
So yeah,
Clark, can you give me that event number for that smoking mission I was on?
Okay, it was event number 08307.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pretty wild stuff, huh? We're going south on Cicero now. I gotta get to the gas stations. I'm almost out of gas, so hopefully we don't run out. This ain't that bad of a neighborhood anymore. So, and I don't know, man. Some of the west side it is what it is, but yeah, I don't know. Bad here. I've had worse experiences in other types of neighborhoods where it's other races, white, mostly white, and that's all I gotta say. I never had a problem in certain areas, man. I don't know. Danger is dangerous. I guess I say it's all relative, right? I hope I don't run out of gas, man. I'm running on fumes now.
7373.
7373.
Event number 4, drop off at Jackson in the blue.
Alright, 10318.
Oh man, a building collapsed somewhere here. In the Bronx. Wow, that's bad. A whole building collapsed in the Bronx. And we have a couple of those here in Chicago too. So we're up to date on our radio calls. We're in Cicero, I think. Yeah, we're all in Cicero. I don't know if the other side of Cicero is Chicago there, but we're in Cicero here. The west side of the street is Cicero here. The east side might be Chicago still, but I don't know. It might not be. Yeah, bad here. Let me show you guys this if you're watching live. There, in the Bronx, a building collapsed. Here, let me show it to you one more time. Watch again. There you go. A building collapsed in the Bronx. See that there? I didn't know. I didn't check if anybody died yet. That's the Bronx, New York. A building collapsed. That don't look good there. I hope everybody's all right. Let me read. A building wall collapsed under scaffolding. So maybe it was an old building they're working on. So sounds like maybe not too many people were in there, but don't know. No injuries have been reported. All right, there we go. That's good. We don't want no injuries happening. This is Forest Park, isn't it? What train station is this? Is this the pink line or the blue line here? I don't even know. STDs is right. Yeah, they are. My grandpa had a great saying, because if you want syphilis, go hang around with people that got syphilis. If you don't want it, don't hang around with them. And that's it. It's pretty simple. You know, he grew up in the olden days, you know, when they didn't have those, what do you call them? What's the word here? You can't say certain things. Political correctness, PC, right? Is PC still a thing? Do people still do PC? I don't know, man. It's pretty wild, right?
10351 and 10352.
Oh, man, we got the train here, huh? They're pulling out guys out of cars and all kinds of stuff. I'm looking at my Instagram account and they're pulling guys out of cars in Minneapolis. It's like, yeah, well, that's it. You know what? Who here hasn't been messed with by the cops or somebody? I have all the time. I've also had interactions with cops and they don't bother me until they ask me for my license or whatever it is, and it's over with, right? I mean, it is what it is, man. You deal with it. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I get it. There's racism and people die. I get that. I understand it. I'm not denying that.
383 Charlie.
But at certain point in time,
Good lunch, 95th Street in Hoyt.
we gotta just say that, yeah, I mean,
Sure, 103.
do we want criminals running on our streets? And will there be mistakes made and people hurt? Absolutely. 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 There'll be people mistakenly hurt. There'll be people mistakenly incarcerated. But in the end, the word is everybody, does the ends justify the means? I would say yes. Do you want to deal with, look, why isn't that person, so they let that person go. Think about it. You watched an overdose today, right? Didn't you watch it? This is the story for tomorrow. You guys watched, we were at overdose, right? Right? You watched an overdose. They overdosed. That was an overdose. It was a real call. You watched the ambulance number 10. You watched 2 squad cars there. We complained that all that money was spent on that. But here's the bigger thing. It's illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal. One more time. It's illegal to do drugs on the CTA. They had the person that overdosed on the CTA train. Maybe they have some drugs on them. Maybe. How did you know they overdosed? You said it. The cops themselves said they overdosed. They're on the CTA train. They overdosed all these people. Guess what? They didn't lock that person up. You could grab that person and throw them in a hospital. You can lock them up. It's against the law to do drugs on the train. They got a guy that was overdosed on a train, which is against the law. The cops did nothing. That's the ending of our story today. While you have the comment guy getting a blowjob right down the street in front of the cop. The cop was right there. You seen the cop was right there, right? We seen the hooker. We seen ComEd. He was doing whatever he was doing. And you seen the cop driving right in front of him. Didn't you see that? So the cops do shit. The cops did nothing. Zero. Nothing. Whether it's the prostitution happening right in front of them, or the drug addict, the overdoses on the CTA train, endangering every person on that train during rush hour with drugs. With drugs. They have drugs on them, drugs in them. Who knows what they got? Fentanyl can kill you. The little bit of it, little speck of it can kill you. Yet, we've seen in 2 instances, within 10, 15 minutes of each other. We're at Pulaski and Lake, then we're at 5th and Cicero. In neither case did the police do anything for the prostitution and the blowjob of ComEd. And they didn't do nothing about the overdose on the Green Line. 279. This is where we're going to get some gas. How about that? That looks cheap, don't it? And that's real cheap. 279. There's some more cheaper. Do I got enough time to go down and get cheaper gas? There's a cheaper gas down the road, I think. You know what? We'll just stay right here. And we're done. I'm out of gas. I don't want to chance it. We'll stay right here. Okay, I'm done. SubX.News, we're signing off. It's 6:46 p.m. It's January 14, 2026. Man, that's a lot of 6:46. January 14th, 2026. That's a lot of sixes.
Please send number drop off Clark and Lake.
$10408.
That's how we're going to leave it today. I appreciate everybody watching. The end of our show was what? You've seen 2 crimes. You can say, oh, prostitution in a crime. Yeah, whatever. You can say overdosing in a crime. Yeah, whatever. But like Marietta said, why are you doing it on the street, in public, during driving your ComEd truck? And then why are you doing drugs on a CTA train? In both cases, there was police involved. In both cases, police were in the proximity of both issues of breaking the law and what? affecting our quality of life. The drugs, flying on the CTA train, and somebody getting a blowjob while they're driving around in a work truck. I don't know what that's about, but there was a shooting over there. There was a murder in that area just a few weeks ago. And the shooting was over there yesterday or a day before. So the cops aren't stopping it. And that's the story for today. The Chicago police not only change addresses to hide crime on the CTA, which I think might be illegal. I haven't looked into it yet. And by the way, I'm going to file a DOJ complaint about that. Because that's wrong. And I asked for the information. CPD is now ignoring me. So now I'm going to file a DOJ complaint and say, yeah, is it legal for a police department to falsify the address of a shooting when the video shows something else? I'm going to ask the DOJ to investigate that case. The Department of Justice. I want the Department of Justice to investigate the Chicago Police Department for intentionally giving the wrong address of a shooting on a CTA train. And as we've seen today, there was an overdose on the CTA. And I'm going to send another letter today to Chicago Chicago Police Department. Why didn't you arrest the person who overdosed on the train? That's illegal to do drugs on the train. Why did you let him go? And if you don't want to arrest him, then put him in the hospital. But they can't be doing fentanyl on a train, endangering every person on that train at 6 o'clock. And why did you let the dude get a blowjob in the ComEd truck? That's what you've seen today. SubX.News signing off. What time is it? 6:50 p.m. Have a good night. Have a good dinner. Take it easy, everybody. If sun comes up, we'll post it. But it's my movie night with my kid tonight. Take it easy, everybody. Love everybody. Thank you very much for watching SubX.News. If you got any tips, send it our way. We'll look into it. It's only me. I'm getting Marietta. See, we're going to have a podcast. We're going to work on that and see how that works out for you. All right? Take it easy, everybody. Love everybody. Thanks for watching. Be safe, okay? Be safe and turn up that heat. Bye.